happening so that they can make those decisions for our state. But at this point, there's no plans to use state funds for SNAP.
Wickstrom says she hopes getting the information out as early as they could will help anyone who needs it plan for other arrangements.
That means those people who will be turning to other resources like food banks to feed their families. Jeanette Bott, president and CEO of the Utah Food Bank, says it's not possible for them to make up the difference.
You know, we can only store so much food. We only have so much staff to distribute food. We can't absorb this kind of a scenario in our locations.
Statistics show that SNAP benefits provide 9 meals for every one that food banks can give. She says that while they at the larger food banks have the staff they need to ramp up efforts, smaller local food pantries are going to need help and lots of donations.
So I would encourage people to, look at your family, look at your pantry. Is there stuff there that you could spare? Is there money that you could donate to help us get food to folks?
If anyone is looking for resources during this time, they can call 211 for information or check out the website 211utah.org. Reporting live, Heather Peterson, KSL News Radio.
An Ogden church is getting $100,000 to improve its unique building. KSL News Radio's Heather Kelly has details.
The funds come from the National Trust for Historic Preservation and are being awarded to the Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd. A press release states the $100,000 grant will be used to improve the masonry and brick of the exterior of the building, as well as replace windows and doors. This is only the second time in a decade a Utah church has been given a grant from the National Trust. An Islamic center in Taylorsville was the first. 29 other religious buildings across the U.S. are receiving grants this year, totaling almost $9 million. Heather Kelly, KSL News Radio.
West Hills wants to become an incorporated city, but a lower court has ruled against the plan. Now proponents are asking the state Supreme Court to make the decision. Attorney Derek Anderson says the county clerk mailed half the ballots with the incorporation question, but they are withholding the rest.
The county clerk could send out all the ballots, let people vote, and then wait for the Supreme Court to decide. But instead, she's decided to not do that. She's said that she's going to wait for the Supreme Court and not send them out.
Supreme Court has asked for all documents by the end of the week and hopes to rule on the case before Election Day. West Hill sits between Hideout and Camas, east of the Jordanelle Reservoir. KSL's top national stories. It's day 22 of the government shutdown, and the Senate is still far from reaching a deal to reopen it. Republicans and Democrats are both refusing to make a move.
The Democrats, they are calling on President Trump to come to the table, but he's not willing to do so until Democrats vote to reopen the government. Well, Democrats, they are demanding an extension of those expiring Obamacare subsidies so that healthcare premiums don't skyrocket for millions of Americans. Now, it's not just a concern from Democrats. In fact, a group of Republicans wrote a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson demanding that he immediately address this issue because, of course, those healthcare premiums impact their constituents as well. And open enrollment starts on November 1st.
ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang reporting. Other national stories KSL is following. Construction is underway at the White House. President Trump is adding a $250 million ballroom.
The White House says the entirety of the East Wing will be, quote, modernized for the construction of the president's ballroom. But construction crews all week have been raising the East Wing. Bulldozers seen tearing down walls and the roof of the two-story structure. The president in July said the ballroom would not interfere with the current building. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is now urging the Trump administration to stop the demolition until the construction plans can go through a legally required public review process. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
House Speaker Mike Johnson defending President Trump's renovations and saying he's upset by the public's reaction.
How in the world could they oppose that? The only logical reason is because they have Trump derangement syndrome, and that's what explains a lot of this.
It's not the first time a president has made changes to the White House. The East and West Wings were added to the original structure by Franklin D. Roosevelt and Theodore Roosevelt. First look traffic. Good afternoon, Ricky.
Good afternoon, Maria. We have an accident. This is in West Valley City on the 21st South Freeway, westbound at about 7200 West, blocking a right lane. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:05.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thank you for joining us for Midday, recapping our top story. The government shutdown continues to affect the American people. SNAP says benefits for around 86,000 Utah families will run out by the end of the month. KSL News Time 12:07. Utah's first homeless coordinator is stepping down after 5 years. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The homeless coordinator was a position created back in 2021 after the legislature decided to restructure the homeless services system. Wayne Niederhauser was appointed at that time and helped create the state's first strategic plan to address the issue. The news of his retirement comes just after the announcement and push for a 16-acre homeless services campus on the west side of Salt Lake City. Niederhauser says he's proud of what he accomplished and thanked those he worked with. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Homeowners who live in townhomes on Provo's Independence Avenue say they were shocked when their HOA told them each homeowner owes over $17,000 to fix some crumbling decks.
That is a huge amount of money, and to just conjure that out of nowhere, I don't know how I'm going to do that.
Cuman Johnson doesn't even have a deck on his house and tells KSL TV he was told he has to pay. The HOA says the decks were not built properly and are now rotting. The original builders say they followed all building codes when the structures were built, and they aren't responsible for the repairs. Salt Lake County leaders aren't the only ones looking to increase property taxes next year. Leaders in Davis County are looking to hike property taxes by nearly 30%.
Davis County homeowners on average are already paying about $335 a year in property taxes, and if this hike is approved, they'll have to pay about $100 more per year on average. Though Davis County has not increased property taxes since 2017. The county controller tells KSL.com this hike would generate more than $12 million in additional revenue, and he says they need it to address a few things, namely inflation and paying county employees more. It's not a done deal yet. The county will hold 3 open houses in November, then a formal truth in taxation hearing on December 2nd. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
We have an accident blocking a right lane going from West Valley to Magna. This is westbound on the 21st South Freeway, approaching 7200 West. And even though a lot of the emergency crews have left the scene, you're still going to be pushed over into that left lane of travel as you're approaching the intersection. Right now, it is backing traffic. Not quite to Mountain View, but we do have some delays. The rest of your Salt Lake County freeways in great shape, despite a disabled vehicle in the clearing stages northbound I-215's West Belt at California Avenue over to the right. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
I'm calling it a day divided. Morning sunshine giving way to afternoon clouds, 63 degrees. 48 overnight, mostly cloudy with a slight chance for showers. 62 on Thursday, AM shower possible, then clearing partly cloudy. 64 on Friday, mostly sunny. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy skies in downtown Salt Lake City and 55 degrees. Coming up on Midday with Maria Shilaos. We'll hear about the future of the Utah Forward Party with State Senator Daniel Thatcher resigning. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. It's sponsored by At Your Service Pros. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
I have to admit, it drives me nuts when we start talking about Christmas so early in the year, but it is a good time right now for you to make your reservations for the family gathering, for the company party, all kinds of special events during the holidays. Make your reservations right now. It's not too early at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. What a great way to welcome out-of-town guests, to thank your employees for a great year at your business. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse during the holidays, too, is just magical. The two locations, Hotel Park City, right up there in that beautiful mountain environment, and of course where all the hustle and bustle of the city is happening, 275 Southwest Temple in Salt Lake City. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse for the holidays, and you will get that perfectly prepared steak and so much more at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
If you are facing divorce, call Cordell and Cordell today.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. CordellCordell.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time, 12:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
food banks say they're preparing to help fill the gap if 86,000 Utah households lose their SNAP benefits come November 1st. But food banks can only provide about one meal for every 9 that SNAP can provide. I'm KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson.
Second, State Senator Daniel Thatcher is resigning, and the Utah Forward Party is setting up an online vote to pick his replacement. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
A crash westbound on the 21st South Freeway, 7200 West. The right lane is blocked. It's backing traffic almost to Mountain View Corridor. The rest of your Valley freeways seeing good speeds and no problems. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Increasing clouds today with highs in the mid-60s, maybe a shower overnight. I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 55 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The ongoing government shutdown now in week 4 as the stalemate over healthcare premiums and GOP cuts in the mega bill continue. The impact is starting to show up with furloughed workers not getting paid and food programs set to run out of funding. ABC's Selena Wang has more.
The Democrats, they are calling on President Trump to come to the table, but he's not willing to do so until Democrats vote to reopen the government. Well, Democrats, they are demanding an extension of those expiring Obamacare subsidies so that healthcare premiums don't skyrocket for millions of Americans. Now, it's not just a concern from Democrats. In fact, a group of Republicans wrote a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson demanding that he immediately address this issue because, of course, those healthcare premiums impact their constituents as well. And open enrollment starts on November 1st.
President Trump is demanding a $230 million settlement for pending lawsuits filed during the Biden administration and his first term. The settlement money, which would come from American taxpayers, is connected to the special counsel investigations and federal search at his Mar-a-Lago estate in the classified documents investigation. One of the nation's largest retailers, Walmart, pausing hiring of certain foreign workers due to changes in the visa process.
The Trump administration raised the fee for the H-1B visas that allow companies to hire certain skilled foreign workers. Companies now must pay $100,000 per visa application. The White House says this is to shore up jobs for Americans. Bloomberg reports that Walmart's now pausing hiring candidates who need H-1B visas. Government data in June showed Walmart had more than 2,300 employees on H-1Bs.
ABC's Brian Clark. The U.S. military carrying out another airstrike, according to two U.S. officials, on an alleged drug cartel boat that occurred last night. You're listening to ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. State Senator Daniel Thatcher is resigning from the legislature. He left the Republican Party back in March to join the Utah Forward Party. Communications Director for the Forward Party, Philip Beaulieu, says it's now up to them to pick his replacement, and he says he's going to explain what comes next.
Instead of using a closed-door sort of private party membership system, which the other parties use, we are going to be inviting every registered voter in the district to cast a vote.
Boileau explains why they are doing it this way.
So the Forward Party is really founded on sort of the hypothesis that election reform or sort of systemic reform more broadly is sort of crucial to sort of maintaining the republic that we have. We are living in hyper-partisan times, right, where things are getting worse and worse, and the use of sort of political gamesmanship or sort of controlling the system to your advantage is only making the system worse. We believe that the reason for the partisanship that we see in an increasing amount is the system itself, is the way that we run our elections. And we want to put our money where our mouth is and lead by example by creating a more open system, by dusting off the cobwebs and letting everybody get an opportunity to participate, because we feel like that is sort of the foundational premise of a democratic republic.
He says people who apply will be narrowed down, and then an online vote will open on December 8th. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Here's Ricky Meese.
If you're traveling westbound on the 21st South Freeway on your way to Magna, you're going to see delays. Those will start after you've passed Mountain View Corridor. It's due to a crash near 7200 West, still blocking a right lane of travel. You can get through the intersection. It's just going to take you an extra few minutes. If you're traveling any of the other Valley freeways, including I-15 either direction between Ogden and Provo, you are good to go. Our main secondaries are also seeing a quiet noontime drive. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast really only has 1 day of significant rain chances. Let's walk through it. I've got mostly cloudy skies this afternoon, high of 63. Overnight tonight into Thursday morning, slight chance for showers. Thursday afternoon, 62. 64 and mostly sunny skies on your Friday. Saturday, 70. Breezy, partly cloudy. By Saturday night into Sunday, I got showers with a cold front. 59 Sunday afternoon, slight chance for showers there. Breezy. Mostly cloudy, 52 on your Monday. Tuesday, 53, clear skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And it's mostly cloudy in downtown Salt Lake City, 55 degrees. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. A quick check of the markets at this hour. Seeing a lot of reds. Both the Dow and the NASDAQ down by about 400 points. A complete update of your money news is coming up next.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hi, this is Doug Ryden. For years, I've been telling you about products I truly believe in and that we use in our home. And one is Kinetico. We all know the downsides of hard water, tough on home appliances, frustrating spots on shower doors, but it also affects your personality. When you shower, does the water feel invigorating? Hard water can leave your skin feeling sticky and itchy. A Kinetico soft water system changes everything. It's like having a luxurious spa experience when you shower, making your daily routine something you look forward to. Kinetico, it's a difference you can feel. Their patented system uses far less salt than competitors, and they're exclusively focused on water softeners. They're the experts in their field, and they'll show you the difference for free with no obligation to buy. Call Kinetico Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized independent dealer, at 801-576-8600, or check them out online at softwaterutah.com. Start enjoying your water. Spoil yourself every day.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pros don't just show up, they prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
On the surface, it seemed like just another Cinderella story.
A team that was predicted to finish dead last is now waiting to play the first round of the playoffs.
But Real Salt Lake's 2021 playoff run was so much more than what happened on the pitch.
Our club is burning to the ground.
This is the tip of the iceberg. Making of a Moment, the RSL story, is available now.
I just kind of got chills right now thinking about it.
Follow us at makingamomentpod.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Watching Utah's money, consumers are feeling discount burnout ahead of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. CNBC reports it's becoming less exciting and the deals just aren't as good. Consumers are focusing less on the price tag and more on value and quality. HBO Max is raising prices again. It's the streaming service's third price increase in 3 years. The cheapest plan will now cost, with ads, I should say, it will cost $10.99 a month, $1 more than before. The premium will be up by $2. More people are looking to refinance their homes. CNBC reports refinance demand is 81% higher than it was last year. It comes as mortgage rates fall to their lowest level in a month. Toys R Us wants kids to have a magical Christmas, so they're opening more than 30 locations for the season. More than 20 of those will be seasonal, including one here in Utah. It's at Station Park in Farmington and should be open now. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 344 points, about 0.75%, sitting at 46,581. S&P 500 down by 52 points, and the NASDAQ down by nearly 1.5%, down 322 points. A 27-year-old pianist from Massachusetts is officially one of the best Chopin players in the world. Eric Liu competed against and beat out 180 performers at the International Chopin Piano Competition. It's known as the Olympics of the piano world. He won about $69,000 and a gold medal.
Hello, Utah. I'm Josh with IWC Roofing. For over 25 years, my family has been safeguarding your homes with the finest roofing solutions. We value your time, and we're committed to replacing most roofs in just one day with a peace of mind 50-year shingle warranty. Call us today at 801-232-5690 or visit iwcroofingutah.com. Ask us for the $1,500 off any full roof replacement. Financing available, 801-232-5690. Utah homeowners, look no further than IWC Roofing for a roof that stands the test of time. With 25 years of excellence, IWC is your trusted family-owned roofing expert. At IWC, we offer one-day roof replacements with top-tier quality materials, all with a 50-year shingle warranty. To keep a leaky roof from dampening your day, we're offering $1,500 off a full roof replacement. Get a free estimate. Call 801-232-5690 or visit iwcroofingutah.com. 801-232-5690.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. I'm here to warn you about telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Some of these scammers may say threatening things like you will be arrested if you don't make payments or provide personal information. Do not fall for these tricks. These calls are not from us. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you for information or money. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Never give the caller your personal information, like your Social Security number or bank account, or send money in any form, cash, gift cards, wire transfers, or prepaid debit cards. Report the call to our law enforcement arm, the Office of the Inspector General, at oig.ssa.gov. Share this information with your friends and family.
Emergency. Someone on the other line said they kidnapped my son.
On September 12, 1995, McKay Everett disappeared from his home in Conroe, Texas.
There was no sign of forced entry. It was just as if McKay had walked out of his own free will.
And to this day, McKay's mother, Paulette, feels that justice was never truly served. Ransom is available now. Listen at ransompodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. What's going on, Ricky?
Crews are still working on this accident going from West Valley to Magna. It's on the 21st South Freeway westbound at 7200 West. The right lane is still blocked, but the delays have cleared out, so that's really good news. If you're traveling any of the other Valley freeways, you're going to see some good speeds and a problem-free drive. We do have delays both directions of 2100 North Lehigh, trying to get to Redwood Road. Prep for winter. Get a furnace inspection from a certified heating contractor to check for safety and efficiency. A reminder from Enbridge Gas. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Clouds picking up this afternoon with a high of 63. Overnight, 48 and a slight chance for showers. 62 for your Thursday, AM shower possible, then partly cloudy skies. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Right now, just a tad of sunshine in downtown Salt Lake City, 55 degrees. St. George at this hour, the warm spot at 69. In Logan, 50 degrees.
You're listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon, KSL News Time, 12:30. KSL's top story this half hour. A Murray mother battling stage 4 cancer says her family's already difficult fight just got harder after a drunk driver crashed into their car on the way to school. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is live with that story. Eric?
Maria, her husband was turning on a night south from Van Winkle with their 4-year-old in the back seat when a speeding driver plowed through several cars, including their silver SUV, before running off. That family belongs to Molly Jimenez, who's already in the fight for her life.
That's kind of what makes our situation harder, obviously. I've been battling metastatic breast cancer for the last 2.5 years and potentially facing the end of my life.
Her husband and son walked away with minor injuries, but their SUV is totaled. The driver was arrested for DUI and fleeing the scene. Now, as Molly continues treatment, her family is hoping for a little help and a lot more time together. I'll be posting their GoFundMe link on our Instagram story. Live, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
There was another suspected drunk driving accident this morning. The driver led police on a chase on the Mountain View corridor, crashing into several cars. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
It was just after 2 a.m. Bluffdale police say they saw a driver running into several cars. When they responded, the car hit them and drove off onto the Mountain View corridor. On the UDOT cameras, I saw a line of police following the driver whose tires had already been spiked. Around 3500 South, they crossed the median strip, driving into oncoming traffic before police pushed them back into the median.
Police say the driver has been arrested and no one was hurt. A 13-year-old was hit by a car in South Salt Lake last night. Police say it was in the parking lot of Astro Burger on 3900 South and State Street. That teen was taken to the hospital with minor injuries, and the driver is cooperating with police. The Utah Forward Party is setting up an online voting process to replace State Senator Daniel Thatcher, who announced on social media last night he's going to resign. KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson has more.
In Senator Daniel Thatcher's Facebook post, he says to give his constituents the best outcome, it's time for him to move on. And today, the Utah Forward Party launched the 11chooses.com website, where anyone who lives in District 11 can sign up to take his place. Now, the people who applied, they'll be narrowed down, and then there'll be an online vote on December 11th. And anyone in the district can vote no matter their party affiliation. But there is one requirement for the candidates. They have to change their party affiliation to the Forward Party by November 11th.
The winner will be announced on December 12th. KSL's top national stories. Ukraine is unveiling an upgraded sea drone to attack Russian shipping in the Black Sea. It can carry heavier weapons and uses AI. ABC's Chuck Sievertson has more.
Nicknamed the Sea Baby, Ukraine has expanded the range of the unmanned naval drones to over 900 miles and can carry over 2 tons of weaponry, it says. Staging a demonstration for news media. They can be fitted with a multiple rocket launcher and a machine gun turret with AI-assisted friend or foe targeting systems and capable of launching small aerial attack drones. They also have self-destruct systems to prevent capture. Ukraine says sea drones have successfully attacked 11 Russian ships, including frigates and missile carriers.
It comes just after President Trump's summit with Russia was canceled. Russian President Putin has made it clear that he had no intention of striking a peace deal.
It is just the latest example of Trump being courted by Putin, then painting a rosy picture of negotiations, only for Putin to pull back. And the timing here is critical. Putin floated this new summit the day before Ukrainian President Zelensky came here to the White House to ask President Trump for powerful Tomahawk missiles capable of striking deep inside Russia, which Putin obviously opposes. Zelensky then walking away empty-handed as Trump eyed this new Putin summit.
ABC News Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce reporting. Other national stories KSL is following. One of the nation's largest retailers is pausing hiring of certain foreign workers. ABC's Brian Clark explains why.
The Trump administration raised the fee for the H-1B visas that allow companies to hire certain skilled foreign workers. Companies now must pay $100,000 per visa application. The White House says this is to shore up jobs for Americans. Bloomberg reports that Walmart's now pausing hiring candidates who need H-1B visas. Government data in June showed Walmart had more than 2,300 employees on H-1Bs.
H-1B visas were created in 1990 as a way for companies to bring in skilled workers. Some conservative activists are criticizing the NFL's choice of Bad Bunny to perform at halftime of February's Super Bowl. The rapper says he did not tour the U.S. because of mass deportations and has openly criticized President Trump.
Why did the NFL choose Bad Bunny to perform at halftime of the Super Bowl?
He's one of the leading and most popular entertainers in the world.
Commissioner Roger Goodell responding to questions about criticism of the choice from some right-wing activists.
I would say that I'm not sure we've ever selected an artist where we didn't have some blowback or criticism.
He said the choice was carefully thought out and that the league is confident it will be a great show. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Time now for First Look Traffic, and here's Ricky Meese.
The right lane is still blocked, but crews are in the final cleanup stages of a crash westbound SR 201 at 7200 West. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:35. It's that time of year when you want to turn on the furnace, and if your furnace isn't working well, you need to know that there are rebates right now, energy rebates that are set to expire. So if you do need a new furnace, you need a new air conditioner after this long summer, then you need to really check into these. My go-to guys for all of these things are At Your Service Pros. These guys are great. They put in a new furnace and air conditioning system for me, and they saved me about $7,000 in rebates. Now, right now, At Your Service Pros, which is a locally owned company, is also concerned about everyone's finances, so they want to make sure that they're giving you some deals as we head into this cold season. Right now, they'll help you with $49 furnace tune-ups, $39 electrical inspections, and $75 off electrical repairs because they know things are tight and they want to help you out and make sure that you are comfortable during the winter season. Also, their goal is to earn your trust and not upsell you. So they'll come in, they'll give you an estimate, they'll give you a fair price, and then you can get a second opinion. But you're going to love these guys. Let At Your Service Pros be your pro and go-to for heating, air, plumbing, and electrical. Call them today at 801-YOUR-PRO, or you can visit them at atyourservicepros.com. Again, that number to call, 801-YOUR-PRO.
When you take your grandkids to Disney, do they know what's in your investment portfolio? Do they even care? They're busy having a great time, and you're busy making memories. At Galileo Wealth Management, we understand the nuts and bolts of retirement planning, our investments, the stock market, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and more. But think about it. What are you trying to do here? Is your goal to beat the S&P? Or is your goal to make memories with your family? Our goal is to give you the confidence to spend in retirement without the fear of running out of money. Call Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management today, 801-516-3227. That's 801-516-3227, or go online to GalileoWealth.com. Let Todd Kim and Galileo Wealth Management help you make memories, not just money.
Thank you for joining us for Midday, recapping our top story. A Murray mother battling stage 4 breast cancer says her family's fight just got harder after a drunk driver totaled their car on the way to school. KSL News Time, 1238. KSL Sports, the Utah Jazz will be debuting some new jerseys this season, and starting at 4:30, the team is offering one of those brand new jerseys to a number of fans without having to pay the price on the tag.
The Jazz will have 3 new jersey sets this season, and they all bring some of the classic purple and mountain designs from the 90s and early 2000s back to life.
It was very clear that purple was has and always will be a fan favorite.
And Utah Jazz Vice President of Public Relations Cassie Batnich tells me they're going to give the first 500 fans this afternoon the chance to get one of these new jerseys in exchange for any official Jazz jersey from past seasons.
Let's get the fans in on that and bring them in so that they feel like they're part of that mountain basketball theme and that excitement.
Those 500 fans will also get 2 free tickets to a game this year, but remember, it's first come, first serve. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
The Jazz will play their first game of the new season tonight. The Jazz finished with the NBA's worst record last year, and Utah's new president of basketball operations, Austin Ainge, is trying to make sure that that doesn't happen again.
What is your philosophy on, for lack of a better term, to be indelicate, tanking or, manipulating minutes and player performance in order to achieve better lottery odds?
We won't see that this year.
The Jazz are looking to get a boost from their young players, namely their new first-round picks, Ace Bailey and Walter Clayton Jr. Season tips off against the LA Clippers at the Delta Center tonight at 7 o'clock. We will be streaming it on our airwaves, so you can listen here on KSL News Radio. And the CEO of Crumble is using the money he was planning to use to pay BYU's fine for storming the field to pay for some student lunch debt in Utah. CEO Jason McGowan had offered to pay the fine so fans could celebrate on the field after the Cougars Cougars beat the Utes in this weekend's rivalry game. But the Big 12 Conference ended up not levying a fine. So instead, McGowan decided to keep the spirit of generosity alive by pledging to give that money to pay off school lunch debt for students in the Provo City and Salt Lake City school districts. Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
Salt Lake City PD wrapping up a crash at 2100 South 11th East. We also have a report of an accident downtown at 200 South, 200 East. And we're in the final cleanup stages of a crash westbound on the 21st South Freeway, 7200 West. That right lane is still blocked to traffic, but no delay. Titanic, the exhibition, opens October 17th at the shops at Southtown. Step aboard to experience full-scale recreations, see artifacts, and hear real passenger stories. Don't miss it. Book passage today at the TitanicExhibition.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, starting out with sunshine today, then clouds move in, 63 the high. Overnight, 48, mostly cloudy and a slight chance for showers. 62 partly cloudy Thursday, 64 and mostly sunshine on Friday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Well, a bit more sunshine now in downtown Salt Lake City and 57 degrees. Coming up on Midday, we'll talk to nonprofit Utahns Against Hunger about SNAP benefits and other resources struggling to stay open. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Man, I want to tell people how they can look and feel 10 years younger because it's something you and I already know.
We lost weight with the SOTA weight loss program. I lost 34 pounds, 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
And I do feel younger. I have more energy, all because I worked through this wonderful program, SOTA weight loss.
And I let go of 70 pounds of fat weight over 5 months, and I actually did get comments, you look incredibly younger. It really felt good.
And I love the example I set for my kids to show them, look, we can celebrate things without having to eat stuff that's bad for our bodies.
And what helps is the accountability. And right now, this is the best way to do it. SOTA's bringing back their most popular offer of the season. Join now, and your partner joins for free in the Partner Program.
So you and your spouse, or you and your best friend, get going with SOTA weight loss.
They're the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and client results. You can find out by going to their website, SOTAweightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Because SOTA is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
The Management Minute is a service of the MBA program in the John M. Huntsman School of Business at Utah State University. I'm Professor Scott Hammond. There were two similar manufacturing plants, two plant managers. To increase quality, one set out to enforce the rules so there would be no more mistakes. The other set out to create processes where everyone could learn from their mistakes. The first manager stood above, the second stood within. Over time, the second manager had much better results. Collaborative, continuous improvement that leverages learning is why cars and planes are safer, electronics are more reliable, surgeries are more successful. Learning how to improve is what makes USU's Huntsman School world-class. The internationally known Shingo Institute and the MBA program, both at Utah State University, have teamed up with a powerful degree that teaches MBA skills, continuous improvement, and organizational excellence. Consider a Shingo MBA. Go to utahstatemba.com. That's utahstatemba.com. I'm Scott Hammond. Hope to see you in one of our classes.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
KSL News Time, 1245. The three things you need to know this hour first.
The Utah Jazz are bringing back the classic purple and mountain look on their jerseys this season, and the team is also providing a way for 500 fans to get one of them for free. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, SNAP benefits will run out by the end of the month if the government shutdown continues. SNAP feeds 86,000 Utahns. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
Right now we have a nice and quiet drive on the Valley freeways, no delays. And the crash that we had westbound on the 21st South Freeway, 7200 West, that right lane is now open again. And what's left of the officers, they're over to the right out of traffic. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Low pressure moves into southern Utah today, puts clouds along the Wasatch Front this afternoon, maybe even a shower overnight. I'm Matt Johnson.
A bit of sunshine, 53 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A vote is not likely in the Senate today as the government shutdown drags on. Democrats pushing for talks to extend key health care premiums and holding marathon speeches on the floor denouncing Trump administration policies. ABC's Selena Wang says furloughed federal workers now not getting paid.
Lawmakers, they are continuing to get their paychecks, but their staffers are not. They missed their first paycheck on Monday, and federal workers are set to miss a paycheck this Friday.
North Carolina Republican leaders have completed the remapping of state house districts today. Those maps approved by the state Senate could give them one more seat in the midterm elections. It is the latest state to revisit congressional maps after President Trump urged Texas to take it up. Missouri followed. California voters will decide whether to redraw maps that could gain Democratic seats. Dating app Tinder announced it will now require facial recognition verification for those wanting to sign up and look for a match. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. SNAP benefits are set to run out by the end of the month if the government shutdown continues. Executive Director of Utahns Against Hunger, Gina Cornea, joins me now live. Thank you so much for being with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We appreciate it.
So how do you think this is going to impact the 86,000 Utahns who receive these benefits?
Well, it's actually 86,000 households, and so the actual number of folks who are receiving benefits is about double that. And, of course, we are deeply troubled by the fact that November benefits may be held up. It's about $30 million a month that's issued in Utah. So not only does that impact individual families, but it also impacts grocery stores.
Yeah, so what can these families do to prepare?
Well, I think the first thing that we want to make sure people understand is that if they have any SNAP balances remaining on their cards, that they should spend those benefits down through October 1st, because we don't know what's going to happen to that food stamp SNAP system once November 1st hits, and people with remaining balances may not be able to use them in November. So folks should prepare for that. We don't want to cause panic and cause a run on grocery stores, but if people have essentials they need going into November, they should buy them now.
Are there any other resources for these families?
There are, dozens of food pantries and food banks across the state that provide temporary assistance to folks, but they are not in any way prepared to take on a huge influx of people. Pantries have been experiencing higher demand than normal. I mean, even before since the pandemic. And, they're just like an influx of 180,000 people, there's just no way for pantries to keep up. There's no way for the Utah Food Bank to fill that gap. There's no way for churches, including the LDS Church and their incredibly generous and comprehensive welfare system, can't fill the gap. I mean, this is, I think it's going to cause a lot of panic and people are scared.
Yeah. Is there any hope that money for these benefits will come from somewhere else?
Not as far as we know. One of the things that could happen is, states could use their own funding, but there is no way, a guarantee that those benefits or that funding would be replaced or reimbursed by the federal government. And really the best thing that people can do is to call their congressional delegation and have them insist that the USDA release funds for both SNAP and for women, infants, and children, because the USDA has the authority to do that.
All right, Jane, I appreciate your help. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That is the Executive Director of Utahns Against Hunger, Gina Cornea. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape, Ricky.
We are back to a crash-free commute on the Valley freeways. We also have good speeds, including I-15, both directions between Clearfield and Provo. If you are traveling some of the surface streets, we have had a report of a crash downtown at 200 South and 200 East. Our main secondaries are seeing a nice and quiet drive at this time. From system install to fast fixes to delivering award-winning heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical, call Whipple Service Champions for the win today. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast, starting things out with a 63 today, mostly cloudy by afternoon. Overnight tonight into tomorrow morning, slight chance for showers, partly cloudy though by Thursday afternoon, 62. Mostly sunny on your Friday, 64. We've got a 70 in store now on Saturday. Breezy out of the south, partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Into Sunday, showers, 59, breezy. 52, cold, mostly sunny skies on Monday. Tuesday, 53, mostly clear. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And a bit of sunshine in downtown Salt Lake City, 57 degrees. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. And a quick check of the markets at this hour. Still seeing a lot of negative numbers with the Dow down more than 400 points. A complete update of your money news is coming up next.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs PPO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
If you're ready to buy a home or sell a home and you're worried about the current real estate market because of what you've heard from some of your friends or family, well, we're here to tell you that you really shouldn't be worried because now is a great time to buy and sell with our friends at the Stern team, powered by Almada Real Estate.
And here's why. Buyers have more options due to increased inventory, which gives them the power to negotiate for repairs, interest rate buy-downs, and closing cost assistance. While at the same time, sellers are still getting top dollar for their homes, with home values that are higher today than ever before. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, the current real estate market presents a win-win opportunity for both buyers and sellers.
But you still do want to make sure that you're working with a team of real estate experts you can trust that can get you some great results. And that's our friends at the Stern team, powered by Almada Real Estate.
They have helped thousands of Salt Lake City homeowners, and they're ready to help you. To get started, just go to thesternteam.com. That's thesternteam.com, or Google The Stern Team.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
KSL News Time, 12:55. Getting on the Tinder dating app. Well, get ready to have your face scanned.
It's a first. Match Group, which owns Tinder, announcing the U.S. rollout of Face Check TM, a first-of-its-kind facial verification feature that helps confirm users are real and match their profile photos. FaceCheck is now required for all new users in 7 countries and the state of California and will roll out to additional U.S. states in the coming months. New members take a short video selfie within the app. If the system confirms the person is real and matches profile photos, it issues a badge signaling to others they're legit.
That is ABC's Chuck Severson reporting. Watching Utah's money, companies are reinventing themselves by making and buying cryptocurrency. More than 200 public companies have announced plans to hold crypto on their balance sheets as so-called digital asset treasury companies. Walmart has released its Thanksgiving meal basket, and it's priced at about $4 a person. That is the cheapest it's been since 2022. The basket is supposed to feed 10 people and includes more than 20 items. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow down by 377 points, sitting at 46,547. S&P down by 53 points, and the NASDAQ gets off by 316 points.
Hey guys, it's Woodrow from Mint Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with ED? Well, you are not alone, and now there's a real solution that treats the root cause, not just the symptoms. Introducing our trifecta approach, a breakthrough combination of acoustic wave therapy, hormone replacement, and cryotherapy, all designed to restore blood flow, boost performance, and rebalance your hormones. Whether it's ED or hormonal imbalance, if you're ready to reignite your love life, this treatment helps bring back your energy, your drive, and your confidence. And right now, when you call, you'll receive a free consultation, a blood flow ultrasound, and an intimacy gift. That's a $650 value, absolutely free. And here's the bonus. The next 20 callers will also receive a 5-night stay at a luxury resort in Hawaii just for taking the first step. But you must call now. With 2 convenient locations in Layton and Sandy, help is closer than you think. Call 801-804-8000 now. That's 801-804-8000. Mint Medical Clinic. We'll get you back to mint condition.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Join Mike Stevens of Capital Wealth Advisors for Retire Right Radio, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m. That's Retire Right Radio with Mike Stevens, Saturdays at 5 a.m. and 9 p.m.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at kslnewsradio.com/contests.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
Valley Freeway traffic looks good. No accidents, no delays, and that does include I-15 between Ogden and Provo. Even our main secondaries, West Davis Highway, Legacy, Bangerter, Mountain View, all in good shape. Kind of quiet out on the roads at this time. Common Spirit Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers, all connected to advanced health care in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Utah families could go without food next month if the government shutdown continues. By November, families who use SNAP benefits will see the funds locked up.
If the shutdown's not resolved by November 1st, all SNAP services may be interrupted. So that means even if you have a balance on your card from a prior month, your card may not work after November 1st.
Community groups across the state already worried about what this means for Utahns.
My reaction was one of absolute fear. It's like, I don't think people understand the magnitude of challenge that families are going to have.
The time is 1 o'clock on Wednesday, October 22nd. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Yes, I know what day it is. Coming up, cuts to federal programs as a result of the government shutdown. We have special coverage. Also this hour,
it was very clear that purple was a fan, has and always will be a fan favorite.
The Utah Jazz season tips off today, and there is a chance for you to get one of the new jerseys for free. But it means you might need to part with a well-loved favorite instead. But first, our top stories. The SNAP benefits program that helps low-income families buy food is about to run out of money because of the government shutdown. Utah Department of Workforce Services spokesperson Becky Wickstrom tells Inside Sources that means they'll have to pause the program when we reach the end of the month.
Even if you have a balance on your card from a prior month, your card may not work after November 1st.
Wickstrom suggests people who need these benefits call 211 to get information on food pantries and other resources available. People can also check the 211 website to look at resources listed by each city. Our top national story from ABC News. Work continues at the White House on the president's plans to add a ballroom to the complex where large parts of the historic building's East Wing have been torn down.
Now, Trump had said that the East Wing is being, quote, fully modernized as part of the process to build his massive $250 million ballroom, which he insists is privately funded. But the National Trust for Historic Preservation is urging the administration to pause demolition until the construction plans can go through the legally required public review process.
President Trump had previously said the project would not interfere with the structure of the White House. For once, it's an unintended consequence that sounds good. Researchers have found the molecule that powers the COVID vaccines may help cancer patients rev up their immune systems and better fight cancer. The report was published in the journal Nature. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 362 points, about 0.75%, sitting at 46,563. S&P is down by 50 points. The NASDAQ down by about 1.25%, down 303 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
Right now we have a quiet drive on all the Valley freeways and main secondaries, but downtown drivers, PD cleaning up a crash at 5th South and 1300 East. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Staying in the low 60s for the next few days. A very slight chance of showers overnight tonight. And then the next chance of showers, the greatest chance, I should say, coming on Sunday. Right now, 57 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Any Hour Services free furnace sale is going on right now. If you haven't scheduled your free estimate yet, what are you waiting for? Call Any Hour Services today or schedule online at anyhourservices.com.
You need another bathroom. You want a back patio retreat. We have a plan. If you're looking to start a home improvement project, a discounted home equity line of credit from Zions Bank is an easy, affordable way to turn your home's equity into opportunity. Stop by your local branch to get started or visit zionsbank.com/HELOC to learn more. Loan subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. See banker for details. A division of Zions Bank Corporation, N.A., member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 467014.
Just around the corner, a weekend of fun for the whole family. Beatty Days 2025 in Beatty, Nevada. With a chili cook-off, car show, live music, parade, bed races, contests and games, vendors, and food. Enter a cornhole or horseshoe tournament. Or take a guided tour of the ghost town of Rhyolite. It all starts Friday, October 31st with a costume group contest for all ages. Stake your claim for fun at Beatty Days 2025 in Beatty, Nevada. Visit BeattyNevada.org.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. The other night, I had the chance to see a brand new play at Hale Center Theater, and it's the musical comedy Murders of 1940. And I'm just going to read what I wrote to Sally Dietlein right after I got out to my truck. I just had to let her know how much I enjoyed it, and I said, a black and white screwball film noir comedy complete with Nazis you have outdone yourself. This is so unique. The entire play, save only one character, is in black and white. Sally wrote back and said, yeah, I think it's the first time we've ever done, and she used this term, grayscape. It is so unique. You are going to love it. And then just down the hall, Sister Act is showing, and all kinds of wonderful performances still to come, like Frozen. We've already got our tickets for our grandkids. Go to hct.org or get your tickets at the box office. And don't forget, get your 2026 season tickets.
The effects of the federal government shutdown now making their way to Utah families who rely on the government for food assistance. Today, the state of Utah said that due to the shutdown, payments for SNAP or food stamps will not be issued in November. Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The federal government shutdown continues. We begin this hour with special coverage. The Department of Workforce Services saying this morning that they don't anticipate SNAP payments will resume until the government reopens. SNAP is a 100% federally funded program that helps roughly 86,000 Utah households buy food each month. Utah Department of Workforce Services Becky Wickstrom joined Inside Sources today to talk about the impact that this will have on families in the state.
SNAP is 100% federally funded, and because of the shutdown, we've learned that there will be no SNAP payments in the month of November. Another possibility that we're learning is that if the shutdown's not resolved by November 1st, all SNAP services may be interrupted. So that means even if you have a balance on your card from a prior month, your card may not work after November 1st. We want customers to know that this is a possibility, to know what to expect so that they can make additional arrangements to help feed their family.
There are still a lot of unknowns, too. Wickstrom says until the government does reopen, unfortunately, they won't get a lot of answers or additional information. In the meantime, she recommends that families who rely on government assistance programs for food start making plans now to find sustenance once November rolls around.
I mean, we're fortunate to live in an area where there are community resources available. Customers can hopefully tap into those. You can call 211 or go to 211utah.org and find local food pantries, meal sites, and other resources. So we're hoping that by knowing this information, customers can make arrangements and, have some other resources to rely on in November.
While they wait on funding from the federal government, are there other sources of income that could be used to keep the SNAP program running? Wickstrom says it's a little more complicated.
That decision is being made at a legislative level, and so we're keeping our legislators informed of what's happening so that they can make those decisions for our state. But at this point, there's no plans to use state funds for SNAP.
Wickstrom says that while SNAP funding is in the air, the team at the State Department of Workforce Services is still working to make sure that as soon as funding comes back online, it can be sent out to families in need as quickly as possible.
We would hope that things can be resolved as quickly as possible so that we can get benefits back online for people. I can tell you that we are still accepting applications and just not submitting them to the federal government, but we'll try to keep things moving on our side so that when the government reopens, we can get people benefits as quickly as possible.
If you are affected by the cuts to SNAP, Wickstrom says there are resources available.
Visit our website. We'll have updates as much as we know about what's happening with SNAP, but also using 211, like I mentioned. Also, Utahns Against Hunger at uah.org has a great list of emergency food resources that people can take advantage of.
Becky Wickstrom is the Public Information Officer for the Department of Workforce Services, speaking to Inside Sources about cuts to SNAP benefits here due to the federal government shutdown. We also found out today that at this point there are no changes to the WIC programs right now. Food banks are expecting a lot of people are going to return to their local food banks to fill in the gap. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson is live in studio with me to talk about that part of the story. And Heather, you spoke with the Utah Food Bank, and how are they reacting to the news?
Maria, they say it's frightening for a lot of people because this is going to pose a big challenge for families and put a huge burden on Utah's available resources. I talked to Jeanette Bott, president and CEO of the Utah Food Bank, who says it's not possible for them to fill the gaps completely left by SNAP.
What folks don't understand is that we only have so much inventory and we only have so much capacity, whether that's the Utah Food Bank or that's a pantry that's in your neighborhood. You know, we can only store so much food. We only have so much staff to distribute food. We can't absorb this kind of a scenario in our locations. Here at the food bank, you know, we're watching our inventory carefully. We are being very cautious with you know, we haven't brought on any new partners. We're remaining kind of to stay flat, if you will, knowing that we've got to be able to serve those who are already helping folks who are struggling with hunger issues. So for us, it's like every single day is a challenge. And the smaller pantries, it's even more difficult. So it's going to be really rough for folks who are going to depend on a pantry or a food bank scenario to fill the gap. We can't fill the gap completely.
In fact, data from Feeding America shows food banks can only help with 1 meal for every 9 that SNAP provides.
People really are able to get better and more adequate food amounts through their SNAP process than they can coming to a food pantry, because food pantries limit the amount that they give to each person. You know, you could go into a store with SNAP and buy larger quantities or more of the items your family would use. You know, a pantry is going to ask how many people in your family, and then they're going to limit you to the number of cans of product you can take to match that number of people in your family.
So food banks are stocking up on staff and donations at this time, but it's going to take a village to make all this happen.
We've been through a lot in our state. You know, the government closed once before. We rallied to help. We came through COVID, which was, you know, a lesson I never want to experience ever again. But we found ways to help. I think this is a point in time where we all need to realize it's going to take all of us to help those who are struggling. So I would encourage people to, you know, look at your family, look at your pantry. Is there stuff there that you could spare? Is there money that you could donate to help us get food to folks right now? And especially going into the holiday season, thinking about donating to either your local pantry or the Utah Food Bank would be incredibly important to all of us.
And she said they're going to need some different types of items at food banks that people would normally get with their SNAP benefits, things like formula. And all this comes at a time when visits to Utah's food pantries were already up month after month. Utah Food Bank is a larger organization, but there are many other smaller food pantries that Bott predicts just won't be able to keep up. Maria?
All right. Thank you, Heather. KSL News Radio's Heather Peterson joining me live in studio with more on how food banks may step up if SNAP benefits are paused. Stay with us. We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Bureau of Land Management offices in Utah may be shrinking as a result of cuts announced by the Interior Department. The department announced plans to cut around 2,000 jobs for the national parks and BLM offices nationwide. This could affect 93 workers at BLM offices here in Utah. Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance Director Steve Block says these are people the public interacts with.
If you spend time on federal lands, if you recreate there, if you do business on the federal public lands, these are the staff who you interact with. And so it's everything from, are the trails maintained? Is there somebody at the office to answer your question for where you can camp with your families? To if you are part of regulated industry and maybe you have a mining or a grazing operation, these are the public servants who you work with to make sure you can do your job. And having fewer of those staff in the office is going to make everyone's life that much more difficult. I mean, these offices are thinly staffed already. I want to make sure people understand that if you would go to the BLM's Price or Richfield or St. George offices, they're already down to a very thin crew of career public servants, and firing more of them is just going to make everybody's life much more difficult if you recreate or do business on public lands.
Block tells KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis Utahns would be surprised how federal cuts have already impacted the BLM offices.
Right. I think people are really surprised. I mean, if you go to any one of these field offices, if you go to the state office, there's a public room in downtown Salt Lake City. They don't have the entry-level staff to keep that office functioning. And so they have to take somebody who's much more senior and who runs a program, if it's the mining or the grazing or the recreation program, and they might be the one who is in charge of running the front desk for a few days. They simply don't have the entry-level staff anymore to handle the public's day in and day out questions for how to find things on the public lands, how to find information. And yeah, I just don't know what people think. I mean, these are their friends and neighbors. If you're in a small town, if you're in Moab or Monticello or Kanab, these are people you see every day who are at risk of losing their jobs.
But he says this isn't just about office workers. It also affects anyone who enjoys being out on public lands.
I mean, if you recreate on the public lands, you go out there with an expectation that trails will be maintained, signs will be maintained, campgrounds will be ready for you to visit, and those things might not happen now. And we're still working to run this down, but the numbers that the BLM provided to this federal court in California, the 783 employees and 93 reduction in force number, we're hearing that that's a little inaccurate, especially with the idea that there are not 783 full-time employees who work at the Bureau of Land Management Utah. That number includes their fire staff. And so the actual number of recreation planners, mining engineers, archaeologists is much smaller. And what that means is that the reduction in force of 93 is going to be that much more impactful.
Utah's BLM also manages mineral contracts, including mining for coal and oil on federal lands. Block says a reduction in employees could cause problems for those contracts as well. Amazon could replace hundreds of thousands of jobs with AI. What that could mean for the workforce coming up after the break. But first, it's KSL Traffic brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape, Ricky.
Right now, we're looking at a quiet drive on the Valley freeways and our main secondaries. Where you're going to see road work that could slow you down is southbound SR 36 in Tooele County, going from Erda to Tooele. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, Ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto-pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It all started with a commitment to comfort. Gillette Heating and Air is proud to be Utah County's go-to team for expert HVAC and plumbing solutions. Need a repair, upgrade, or seasonal tune-up? Don't let cost hold you back. With 0% financing available, it's easy to get the work done now and pay later. Plus, save $100 on any repair over $500 and keep your system running strong with a professional tune-up before the heat hits. Visit GilletteHVAC.com or call 385-GET-COOL to book today. Homegrown service pros, financing made simple, comfort made easy.
Carrier, turn to the experts. A Carrier factory authorized dealer.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
When you take your grandkids to Disney, do they know what's in your investment portfolio? Do they even care? They're busy having a great time, and you're busy making memories. At Galileo Wealth Management, we understand the nuts and bolts of retirement planning, our investments, the stock market, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and more. But think about it. What are you trying to do here? Is your goal to beat the S&P? Or is your goal to make memories with your family? Our goal is to give you the confidence to spend in retirement without the fear of running out of money. Call Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management today, 801-516-3227. That's 801-516-3227, or go online to GalileoWealth.com. Let Todd Kim and Galileo Wealth Management help you make memories, not just money.
You're listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. We are streaming on the KSL News Radio app, sponsored by At Your Service Pros. While the federal government is shut down, construction continues at the White House. A rebuild of the East Wing, accompanied by a brand new massive ballroom, is prompting additional concerns from government watchdogs and historians. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more.
This morning, as the federal government shutdown stretches on, demolition crews are tearing down part of the White House East Wing to make way for President Trump's new $250 million ballroom. The president hosting Republican senators at the White House Tuesday, praising the sound of demolition work.
You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears.
But critics are slamming the project, demanding greater transparency. The president pledged back in July that construction would not impact the existing structure. But now, the Washington Post, citing a White House official, says the entirety of the East Wing is being rebuilt. ABC News has not independently verified that report. The National Trust for Historic Preservation is now urging the administration to pause demolition for a public review process, writing, quote, "We are deeply concerned that the massing and height of the proposed new construction will overwhelm the White House itself and may also permanently disrupt the carefully balanced classical design." It comes as the government shutdown enters day 22, and many families are worried about receiving their next paycheck. Cuts to Medicaid and health care subsidies still the major sticking point, with both sides refusing to budge.
I don't know what there is to negotiate.
This is about opening up the government. We have offered them several off-ramps.
People are in crisis. Every day they're getting these these notifications of how much they're going to pay. They're just shocked at how bad this is. And Trump has an obligation to negotiate with us and solve this problem.
In the meantime, critical resources like SNAP food benefits could dry up as soon as next month.
It is literally the difference between eating and not eating on any given day.
And as we head into winter, there's also concern that many vulnerable families could lose heating assistance, especially with those energy bills already rising for so many families.
The White House has pushed back on complaints that the president is destroying the historic White House, saying several presidents over the last 100-plus years have been renovating, expanding, and modernizing the White House to meet the needs of the present day. Concerns are rising that Amazon, the country's second largest private employer, is planning one of the biggest workplace transformations in modern history. The New York Times, citing leaked documents, reports that Amazon expects sales to double by 2033, growth that would normally require 600,000 more workers. But the company is reportedly looking to fill those jobs with robots and automate 75% of its operations. The news comes amid growing fears of technology replacing human workers. The so-called godfather of artificial intelligence, Jeffrey Hinton, sounding the alarm.
If I worked in a call center, I'd be terrified. If I was someone like a legal assistant, a paralegal, they're not going to be needed for very long. For mundane intellectual labor, AI is just going to replace everybody.
I spoke with the director of the Center for National Security Studies at Utah Valley University, Brandon Amaker, to get his perspective on what's happening with Amazon and other companies.
In terms of kind of switching to automation, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword, in my opinion. You know, ideally, when we talk about replacing, humans with AI, it's generally done with the attitude of, well, now we can use this to make our human resources, right, our human employees more efficient with their time. And if that is done, then, AI can be a great enhancement. But I'm always very wary of trying to actually replace human workers with AI, because I think that we often still don't necessarily understand some of the unknowns that come with that. There's a lot of unforeseen, second, third order effects that could have negative consequences. So if I was advising businesses right now, when I advise them on implementing AI or automation, I usually say hey, try to make this a human-centered AI-enabled approach and not necessarily an AI, replacing human beings in their current roles, because I think there's some kind of unforeseen consequences that are likely coming our way in that regard.
So when you say human-centered, what exactly are you talking about?
Meaning that with any decision-making that it actually has operational consequences, you want a human in the loop, right? You want a human at the center of that decision. It's perfectly appropriate to have an AI helping with data collection, analysis, even execution of tasks. But I think when it comes down to that core decision-making process of, okay, how are we going to operate this? How are we going to problem solve here? It is really important to have a human somewhere on that chain in order to, one, check that the automated systems aren't making mistakes, aren't operating off of false assumptions, but two, also to add that human element, right? The ethical decision making, some of those non-tangible things which AI is just not really capable of. I think when you completely pull the human out of that decision process, something is really lost there, and you leave yourself much more vulnerable to technical flaws, vulnerabilities, and oversight.
So when you talk to young people these days, what do you tell them about things that they should think about when planning a career? Because there are going to be some jobs that they're not going to be around.
It's an excellent question. And I think something I really emphasize is learning how to learning some of these durable skills, right, which you're not overly dependent on one technique, one piece of software that, you're a super expert in, so that you're capable of pivoting very quickly, right? There are things that AI is already really good at, and there's things that it's starting to get good at. But one thing that it will struggle with is some of this human critical thinking, right? What are the things that AI cannot do? and what makes human beings really valuable when we look at this future where we're likely going to have a lot of kind of the menial tasks automated. What can't it replace, and then developing those skills. So in a way, it's kind of a reversion back to classical education in a certain way, because it's less about, hey, you need to be the world's expert on this particular piece of software. And it's more, hey, understanding the underlying issues and strategy and frameworks and getting proficient enough in that thing to get by.
Brandon Amaker is the director of the Center for National Security Studies at Utah Valley University. It's 1:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. It's game time at the Delta Center. The Utah Jazz take the home court tonight. The Sundance Film Festival preparing for its last event here in Utah while also honoring their late founder. And KSL traffic, Ricky.
Crews are working on an area downtown with a crash and power outage, 2nd South and 2nd East. Maria?
KSL's top local stories in 1 minute. It's 1:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Another deadly strike today carried out by the U.S. military on an alleged drug boat in the Pacific waters off Central America. 7 other strikes occurred in the Caribbean. President Trump says the U.S. is engaged in combat with drug cartels, but facing criticism for not providing evidence on the targets. ABC's Matt Rivers has more on the impact.
It's not actually having a huge impact on the amount of drugs arriving to the United States. If you're trying to send a message, if you're trying to make life more difficult for drug traffickers, then of course, yes, there will be some impact to this. If you are a drug trafficker operating in the Eastern Pacific, might you think twice before getting on that boat?
It is day 22 of the government shutdown. Democrats and Republicans remain deadlocked on a fix. Democrats on the Senate floor today holding a marathon speech against Trump policies. Amazon says it's developing smart glasses to help drivers navigate deliveries on foot once they get out of vehicles. The AR glasses are paired with a truck camera to help offer directions and provide hands-free proof of delivery. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. State Senator Daniel Thatcher is resigning from the legislature, which means the Utah Forward Party gets to elect a new one. Utah Forward Party Communications Director Philip Boileau tells Midday that they are selecting them through a public vote.
We believe that the reason for the partisanship that we see in an increasing amount is the system itself. It's the way that we run our elections. And we want to put our money where our mouth is and lead by example by creating a more open system.
It's open to anyone who lives in the district. All the candidates will be narrowed down. Then an online vote will take place to pick the winner. A church in Ogden is getting recognition from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. KSL News Radio's Heather Kelly explains.
The Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd was awarded a $100,000 grant to help them extend the life of the building and make improvements. A press release from the National Trust says the Ogden Church specifically applied to use the grant money for windows and doors, the steeple, bell tower, and spire, along with repairing the masonry of the building.
The Episcopal Church was one of 30 buildings awarded funds this year from the Historic Preservation Organization. Utah Jazz will be debuting some new jerseys this season, and the team is providing a way for fans to get one for free. Today, the team is offering the first 500 fans one of the brand new jerseys free in exchange for any official Jazz jersey from any previous season. Utah Jazz Vice President of Public Relations, Cassie Batnich, says that the return of the classic purple coloring played a role in setting this up.
Let's get the fans in on that and bring them in so that they feel like they're part of that mountain basketball theme and that excitement.
Those 500 fans will also get 2 free tickets to a game this season. The CEO of Crumble is using the money that he was planning to use to pay BYU's fine for storming the field to pay for some student lunch debt in Utah. BYU never got fined, so CEO Jason McGowan says that money is giving that money to the Provo and Salt Lake school districts instead. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow down by more than 300 points, sitting at 46,620. S&P down by 34 points, and the NASDAQ down by 223 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
Downtown drivers, be aware that we've had a crash affecting the power in the area of 2nd South and 2nd East. 200 south, 200 east. It might be a spot you want to avoid. Traffic is impacted in the area. And then we have a really good drive on the Valley freeways with no problems reported. Just be aware of a small accident in Davis County. Look for this at State Street at about 200 South in Clearfield. Sponsored by Foothill Rug Gallery, direct importers since 1985. Their semi-annual sale is happening now, up to 70% off already low direct import prices. Foothill Rug Gallery, 1460 South Foothill Drive. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
A high today of 63 degrees, a slight chance of overnight showers. Tomorrow, the high staying in the 60s, up to 70 degrees by Saturday. 57 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Cooler weather. What a relief. Unless you have old drafty windows. Soon the heat will escape through the cracks and your energy bill is going to go through the roof. So now's the time to call Advanced Window Products and get brand new state-of-the-art custom windows and frames at factory direct pricing. The factory is right here in Salt Lake City where they've been building precision windows since 1986, and you're going to save a lot of money since there's no middleman markup. You save 30, even 40% on your new windows. Even better, call now and they'll give you an extra $2,500 off on 10 windows or more. Double pane argon-filled windows with a low-energy triple coating, any style, any color, and Advanced Windows gives you a lifetime warranty. If you have an issue, they're not 10 states away. They're right here in town, and they offer 0% 60-month financing. So make the call now. Get $2,500 off. 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Hey guys, it's Woodrow from Mint Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with ED? Well, you are not alone, and now there's a real solution that treats the root cause, not just the symptoms. Introducing our trifecta approach, a breakthrough combination of acoustic wave therapy, hormone replacement, and cryotherapy, all designed to restore blood flow, boost performance, and rebalance your hormones. Whether it's ED or hormonal imbalance, if you're ready to reignite your love life, this treatment helps bring back your energy, your drive, and your confidence. And right now, when you call, you'll receive a free consultation, a blood flow ultrasound, and an intimacy gift. That's a $650 value, absolutely free. And here's the bonus. The next 20 callers will also receive a 5-night stay at a luxury resort in Hawaii just for taking the first step. But you must call now. With 2 convenient locations in Layton and Sandy, help is closer than you think. Call 801-804-8000 now. That's 801-804-8000. Mint Medical Clinic. We'll get you back to mint condition.
Respiratory virus season is quickly approaching, meaning we'll see more flu, COVID, and RSV in our community. The good news is vaccines are available that will help prevent these infections and keep people healthy. For flu and COVID, everyone aged 6 months and older are recommended to be vaccinated to help protect ourselves and our families against serious illness. Fall remains the best time to be vaccinated. Respiratory viruses circulate year-round, but peak late fall through winter. Your doctor can recommend which vaccines are best for you and your family.
Brought to you by Intermountain Health and KSL News Radio.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. KSL Sports, Jazz fans rejoice. This season is finally here. Tonight, the Utah Jazz take on the Los Angeles Clippers at the Delta Center. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. The doors open at 4:30. Last season was a pretty tough time to be a Jazz fan. They had their worst season on record. But this year, are things looking better? KSL Sports anchor Jeremiah Jensen joins me now to preview tonight's game. But first, Jeremiah, are things going to look a little bit better this year?
That's what everybody wants to know.
Put on your
optimist
here's the honest
hat truth
here.
for me.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, whatever hat you need to wear to make you feel good about this. Look, to be quite honest with you, I think Jazz fans are in for another season of more pain. This team is not expected to win any more games than they did last year. In fact, Vegas odds have the Jazz at 18.5 for the over-under, which is the lowest over-under for any NBA team to start a season in 10 years. So the expectations are really low. But the good news is, Maria, is this team had a chance to exceed those expectations. I think they've got a lot of young, great talent on this team. I think they have a lot of guys who want to surprise people and want to show them something. The Jazz have some incentive to not be great this year. They want to keep that lottery pick next year. If they're too good, it will convey to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they do want to protect that pick, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that this team's not going to be fun to watch or not going to be entertaining. I think with the talent they have, Maria, they're going to be very entertaining. They're just not going to win very many basketball games.
Okay, but let's talk about strategy for just a second. Are
Yes.
they going to be like throwing games? I mean, losing on purpose?
No, I don't think they're going to lose on purpose. The roster as it's constructed isn't built to compete at the level that they would need to make the playoffs, if that makes sense. So the Jazz are going to – I think they're going to play really hard. I think the guys in the roster are going to do their best. But if you compare it to other rosters in the league, especially in the Western Conference, it's not going to be good enough to win a lot of these games. And so they're not going to be favorites in these games. If you look at the Western Conference of the NBA, it's loaded with superstars. You're seeing a team tonight in the LA Clippers that has veterans like James Harden and Bradley Beal and Kawhi Leonard. These are some of the best players of this generation. The Jazz young players are having to face these guys that they grew up watching. There's just so much youth on this team, Maria, that it's going to be tough for them to win a lot of those games. But I believe they're going to be far more competitive in these games than they were last year.
Okay, so what will you be watching for tonight?
What you want to watch for is these young players and their development, so especially Ace Bailey. Look, the Jazz got a special player in this past draft. Many people, before the college basketball season started last year, thought he might be better than Cooper Flagg, who went number 1 overall, who received a lot of hype. Ace Bailey didn't have that kind of a college season at Rutgers as Cooper Flagg did. He didn't play at Duke. And there was a lot of controversy surrounding his management in the offseason and how his drafting was handled. But Ace is a great kid. He's been awesome so far for the Jazz. Everybody gushes about him. And we also saw him in the preseason, Maria. He's a fantastic player. He's got a unique skill set that only the elite players in the world have. So he has potential to be a superstar down the road. So if you're a Jazz fan, you want to watch for his development. You want to watch for the development of other players like Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski, and many others. And, of course, if you're a Lowry Markkanen fan, he's back. He's healthy. I think he's going to have a really good season too. So as far as watching guys that are entertaining and fun to watch and developing, that's something to watch for starting tonight.
Okay, you've mentioned the individual stars, but how are they developing as a team and playing together?
That's what's going to be fun to watch develop as well. You saw them, obviously last year did not go well in any sense, it felt. And we still don't know who their core is moving forward. It'll be interesting to see what rotation that Coach Hardy puts out there. But Coach Hardy, despite his record, is well thought of around the league, and he's the 11th longest tenured head coach in the NBA right now, which is insane because it doesn't feel like he's been here very long, but that's the NBA. He's doing a great job developing these guys. They got some really good mix of veteran players, including Kevin Love, who's won an NBA championship. They can teach a lot of these young guys what it takes to be a pro and to be successful. And that's going to help these young players, and they're going to grow and progress. And it's going to be fun and interesting to watch how they come together. We don't know what that looks like yet, but that's part of the process of enjoying this season is watching them come together. And I think by the end of the season, there's going to be a lot more progress, and they're going to be a lot better than they are at the start.
All right, Jeremiah, thanks for being with me.
You got it.
KSL 5 sports anchor Jeremiah Jensen getting us excited about the Jazz season, which gets underway tonight. Midday continues with more Jazz coverage in just 60 seconds.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Ahead of tonight's game against the Los Angeles Clippers, longtime Utah Jazz fans have a unique opportunity to upgrade some of their merch. The first 500 people into the Delta Center this afternoon can swap out their old Jazz jerseys for a new one that the team will wear this season.
4:30 today, opening day on the plaza. you can come and exchange any official Jazz jersey. It can be any jersey. So if it's a 90s official Jazz jersey, 2000s, as long as it's a Jazz jersey, it'll be the first 500 guests who come will get an opportunity to exchange their jersey for one of the 3 mountain basketball themed jerseys that the team will wear this season.
Cassie Batnich is the Vice President of Public Relations for the Utah Jazz. She tells KSL News Radio's Adam Small that the whole thing is pretty open and there aren't a whole lot of stipulations.
Any year, any official jersey, yep. And it's one per guest. So that's the key. And there's 500 available. So it'll be the first 500 fans who will be able to partake in that. And we're also providing 2 tickets to tonight's game as well.
Now, if you're not sure if you want to give up an old-time favorite for something new, you might want to take a look at some of the newer designs. Batnich says the jerseys this season pay homage to some of the all-time favorites.
We released the Statement Edition, which is the primarily black jersey in the 24-25 season. So that's been available since January of this year. And then our new for this season that just came out were the Association and the Icon. So that's the white with the gradient mountain step and the purple with the gradient mountain step. All 3 of those jerseys will be worn by the Jazz this season. So it's, wearing what the Jazz are wearing this year, celebrating the mountain basketball theme and just the pride in Utah basketball.
Now, don't you worry, the purple colors are still in full swing with the Jazz.
It was very clear that purple was has and always will be a fan favorite, and that you'll see that very much in the mountain basketball themed jerseys. Purple is back, and the mountains are very much back in the design and the elements of these new jerseys.
I'm not sure I'd want to part with my old jersey, but remember, this deal only applies to official Jazz jerseys and is only open for the first 500 people who attend tonight's game. Now, the doors open at 4:30, but there is already a crowd lined up outside. If you're headed to the game right after work and you won't have a chance to pick up some dinner beforehand, no worries there. The Delta Center is unveiling a whole slew of new concessions and food options to keep you filled throughout the game. Now, one of those new options is a special sweet treat.
So these donuts are brand new this season, only available at the Delta Center from Banbury Cross. We have a new Jazz Jam burger up at Proper Burger. And then we have almost 40 new menu items that either tie to the Jazz or new items for this season.
Rich Waters is the VP of Hospitality for the Delta Center. He says the fan-friendly dining options, the ones that aren't supposed to hurt your wallet too much, are still on the menu.
We started Mountain Menu last year, which is our version of fan-friendly. And so that's a total of 5 items. It's a $2 bottle of water, or for $3 you can get individually hot dog, nachos, popcorn, or fan favorite ice cream.
Now, if you've been out to any kind of sports game or concert anywhere, not just at the Delta Center, you know how pricey these things can get. Waters says they've made sure that their menu prices stay lower so that families and fans in general have a chance to take part in the full experience of the game.
I think the first thing is with those fan-friendly items, we didn't mail it in on the quality. The popcorn, it's a hot dog that's really of a high quality, fresh buns. And so as you look at those items, although, again, they are lower price, they're definitely not lower quality. So in terms of fans and having another offering, it is a great option. There's tons of variety in this arena, but for a family to come in and eat a whole meal for really a low rate is pretty great. And, again, we're a very family-friendly type environment. But listen, day-to-day fans really take advantage of that too.
A Proper Burger sounds good about now, but some of those prices there are pretty hefty. Tip-off for tonight's home game against the LA Clippers is at 7 p.m., and one of our texters telling us there are already about 200 people lined up outside for those jerseys. The 2026 Sundance Film Festival will be the last festival held in Utah before the move to Boulder, Colorado. After the break, we'll take a look at what this final festival will look like and how organizers plan to honor the late founder, Robert Redford. But first, it's KSL Traffic. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
Well, heads up, downtown drivers, you need to avoid the area of 200 South, 200 East due to an earlier accident there. And a KSL listener giving us a heads up about a crash in Ogden It's at the intersection of 36th Street and Quincy. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's this time of year when you start thinking about, I don't want to put on any more pounds. But one way to make sure that you don't put on the pounds is to take off those extra pounds that you're carrying around. I want to tell you about a program that has been just such a great help to me. With the help of Salt Lake City Fat Loss, I have lost more than 40 pounds. This program resets your metabolism to help you, finally lose those pounds without all of the stress and frustration of trying to figure out how to do it on your own. It resets your metabolism so you can keep that weight off for good. Now, I've loved this program because for the first time, I didn't have to exercise for over an hour a day to boost my metabolism. Also, it's a simple plan. It fits easily into my busy schedule. It's easy to follow, all natural, no worry about side effects or anything like that. They have a great app that keeps you accountable and gives you some really great resources to help you be successful. I've lost more than 40 pounds, but many of their clients lose up to a pound per day. Find out how you can save $200 right now with their fall special at slcfatloss.com, or you can call them at 801-450-1882, slcfatloss.com, slcfatloss.com.
Hi, this is Doug Ryden. For years, I've been telling you about products I truly believe in and that we use in our home. And one is Kinetico. We all know the downsides of hard water, tough on home appliances, frustrating spots on shower doors, but it also affects your personality. When you shower, does the water feel invigorating? Hard water can leave your skin feeling sticky and itchy. A Kinetico soft water system changes everything. It's like having a luxurious spa experience when you shower, making your daily routine something you look forward to. Kinetico, it's a difference you can feel. Their patented system uses far less salt than competitors, and they're exclusively focused on water softeners. They're the experts in their field, and they'll show you the difference for free with no obligation to buy. Call Kinetico Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake, an authorized independent dealer, at 801-576-8600, or check them out online at softwaterutah.com. Start enjoying your water. Spoil yourself every day.
If you are facing divorce, call Cordell and Cordell today.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. CordellCordell.com.
I'm Jenny Oaks Baker, and I invite you to Joy to the World.
It was sacred, exquisitely beautiful, and Jenny's talent on the violin is unmatched.
Featuring choirs, dancers, and my children musical group, Family 4. Plus world-renowned mezzo-soprano Angela Brower and celebrated baritone and narrator Preston Yates.
It was just like emotionally stirring. The dancers, the singers, Jenny and her family, just bringing to life the beautiful music.
Experience a Christ-centered Christmas as we proudly support Light the World.
It's so beautiful to see how they use all of their talents to just testify of the Savior.
Get your tickets for Joy to the World, a sacred celebration at jennyoaksbaker.com.
At BMW of Pleasant Grove, we believe that driving should be more than just a commute. It should be an experience. Feel the perfect fusion of performance, technology, and luxury with our stunning lineup of new and certified pre-owned BMWs. From the exhilarating drive of a 3 or 5 Series to the spacious elegance of an X7, experience a transparent and effortless car buying experience. Visit us at bmwofpg.com. BMW of Pleasant Grove. The ultimate driving machine is closer than you think.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The Sundance Film Festival's final season in Park City will be a celebration of its 40-year legacy in Utah. Senior programmer and director of strategic initiatives, John Nine, joined me to talk about, or to pretty much describe, how this final festival will be different.
It's going to be, I think, a really meaningful festival for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. It is something that we've thought about for the whole year, about how we mark this moment and the importance of Park City and Utah in the festival's history and the memory of Robert Redford this year.
Okay, tell us a little bit about how you will be marking, first of all, the festival's history.
This series of films, of repertory titles and basically new restorations of films. This leans into our film preservation initiative that we've had for years and years, and we've shown some amazing classic films from Sundance history: Reservoir Dogs, Blair Witch Project, Napoleon Dynamite, Hoop Dreams. We've always shown classic cinema, and we've always done so with the idea that we're highlighting film preservation. We're saying that it's important that these films that have been part of the history of the festival stay alive. They're discovered by new audiences, so these are mostly new restorations. We're showing Little Miss Sunshine, one of the biggest films in the history of the festival. We're showing Saw, House Party, Half Nelson, Barbara Koppel's documentary American Dreams, and we're showing, in honor of Robert Redford, Downhill Racer, which was a film that he talked about a lot and was catalytic in a way to the formation of Sundance. It was a film that he often talked about the struggle of getting it made, of making a film that adheres to your vision. He often told the story of getting the film made to the group of new filmmakers every year who we brought up to the Sundance Mountain Resort for what we call the Director's Brunch. And there was all the filmmakers from that year's festival. And he often told this story of how he tried to get Downhill Racer made. And I think it was really a way that he had of connecting to the filmmakers and saying, hey, we're all artists and we're all here to put forward our vision. So we felt that that was an appropriate film to play to sort of celebrate the vision that he had for independent storytelling.
We'll talk about the other ways that Robert Redford will be honored this year.
There are a number of ways, and one of them is around this programming that we announced, this legacy program. It will be those films that we talked about, but it's also a series of artist talks and gatherings. We're really hoping to convene the alumni who have been part of our history in this second half of the program from Tuesday to Friday. And I think the idea of that is really that for those who knew Redford, he always felt that it was important that the artists do the talking, right? It wasn't about him. It was about the artists and the vision and the stories. And so the way that we've put this program together is hopefully honoring that idea that let the artists do the talking. And so we're putting together these talks and these screenings and gathering the community with the idea that we sort of highlight what this vision has built, that there's this group of filmmakers, so many filmmakers whose careers were launched at Sundance. And we hope that they're coming together. We also are really hopeful that our staff, our current and former staff, our volunteers, people who've been part of this festival for years, the local community, we hope that everyone will come together around this program and sort of see it as a way of acknowledging Redford's vision and this idea that community was a huge part of it. The Utah community was a huge part of it. And so I hope that there's something kind of magical that happens. We have also an opening event that will celebrate that vision as well too. It's something we've done for years to kind of start the festival. And we of course have the Salt Lake event that happens, I believe it's Saturday this year, and we'll have some other touch points that we put together over the coming weeks.
You've been with the festival or with Sundance for more than a decade. What does this mean to you?
Yeah, I've been here for almost 25 years, and I've been coming to the festival
2 decades,
for 30.
excuse me.
No, that's fine. It means a lot to me. I came to the festival for the first time in 1996, and I had been poking around Hollywood for a little bit, not finding my place, and I came to Park City, and I realized that I had just been looking in the wrong place, that this place was special, this community was special, the the vision that Redford had and this way that we all had of coming together around independent storytelling was really something that changed my life. It's the reason I ended up coming to work for Sundance. And I think that everybody will have that point of connection, right? There are people who started coming to Sundance well before me in the mid 80s when it started. And I really feel that what we're trying to do is create a space for people to have that relationship to their own history with the festival and with Utah. I think, for me, just being around these filmmakers and acknowledging the history and seeing some of these events, connecting with people who I've seen. This is my community, right? I've been seeing these same people for 30 years. And I think that's going to, it's a bittersweet moment. But I hope that by having those people to come together, it's also a celebration too. It's really a celebration of what this festival has accomplished and what the artists have accomplished and gone on to in their careers.
Tickets for Sundance went on sale this morning.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
State Senator Daniel Thatcher is resigning, and the Forward Party of Utah is setting up an online vote to pick his replacement. The process taking a rather unique approach in the world of state politics.
Creating a more open system by dusting off the cobwebs and letting everybody get an opportunity to participate, because we feel like that is sort of the foundational premise of a democratic republic.
The time is 2 o'clock on Wednesday, October 22nd. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, we'll get analysis on the process and what it could mean for the makeup of the Utah State Senate. Also this hour,
the trade-off there is it's hard to buy a home with a high property tax.
More proposals to raise property taxes around the state. Why does it all seem to be happening all over Utah, and why right now? We'll get some answers. But first, our top stories. The SNAP benefits program that helps low-income families buy food is about to run out of money because of the government shutdown. Utah Department of Workforce Services spokesperson Becky Wickstrom tells Inside Sources that means they'll have to pause the program when we reach the end of the month.
Even if you have a balance on your card from a prior month, your card may not work after November 1st.
Wickstrom suggests people who need those benefits call 211 for more information on where to get help. Thousands of federal workers will miss a paycheck later this week.
Lawmakers, they are continuing to get their paychecks, but their staffers are not. They missed their first paycheck on Monday, and federal workers are set to miss a paycheck this Friday.
That is ABC senior White House correspondent Selena Wang. The shutdown is in its 22nd day. Taking a look at your money at this moment, markets have been in negative territory for most of the day, ending the day down. The Dow down 334 points to end at 46,590. S&P down by 35 points. The NASDAQ down by nearly a full percent, down 213 points. Our top national story. The state of Arizona is suing House Speaker Mike Johnson over his decision to not swear in Representative-elect Adelita Griavala.
She was elected in a special election to replace her late father almost exactly a month ago, but she hasn't been sworn in yet. The speaker had previously said he would swear her in as soon as she wanted, but now he's saying she won't be sworn in until the House returns from recess. And the House is being kept out on recess, the speaker says, until the government reopens. Democrats accuse the speaker of delaying her swearing in because she's the final signature needed on a petition that would force a vote in the House to release the Department of Justice's Epstein files. The speaker denies that.
That is ABC's Jay O'Brien. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
Way traffic looks really good right now, no problems there. But downtown, we've had a crash resulting in a power outage, and it is affecting traffic at 200 South and 200 East. Northbound, southbound, eastbound traffic blocked at the intersection. Westbound traffic must turn north. And the traffic lights are out on 200 east between 100 and 300 south. Traffic's rough, but your parking lot doesn't have to be. GoPave Utah keeps things smooth with expert asphalt maintenance at GoPaveUtah.com. That's GoPaveUtah.com. Ricky Meeson, the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's high 63 with a slight chance of showers overnight. That slight chance again tomorrow, but the high staying in the 60s, and then up to 70 on Saturday. Right now, 59 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Annuities, non-advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Just around the corner, a weekend of fun for the whole family. Beatty Days 2025 in Beatty, Nevada. With a chili cook-off, car show, live music, parade, bed races, contests and games, vendors, and food. Enter a cornhole or horseshoe tournament, or take a guided tour of the ghost town of Rhyolite. It all starts Friday, October 31st with a costume contest for all ages. Stake your claim for fun at Beatty Days 2025 in Beatty, Nevada. Visit BeattyNevada.org.
Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from 10 to 1 as the movie show stops by. Then browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes in new inventory every day. Then they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. So you're invited to visit the movie show Friday 10 to 1, and that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The state senator who left the Republican Party this year says he's resigning before the start of the January legislative session. That means the party he's now a member of, the Forward Party of Utah, will now be in charge of finding his replacement. I spoke to the party's communications director, Philip Boileau, to find out more on the process for replacing outgoing State Senator Thatcher.
According to Utah state law, the party of the departing legislator has the leeway to create whatever process that they feel is appropriate according to their own party's constitution and bylaws, and to then submit that individual to that individual's name to the governor. So the Forward Party, as a private party, wants to do something completely unprecedented. Certainly unprecedented in Utah, possibly unprecedented throughout the United States, although we haven't done all that research yet. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, instead of using a closed door sort of private party membership system, which the other parties use, we are going to be inviting every registered voter in the district to cast a vote.
Okay, so this is very different. Why? Why is this important to you?
So the Forward Party is really founded on sort of the hypothesis that election reform, or sort of systemic reform more broadly, is sort of crucial to sort of maintaining the republic that we have. We are living in hyper-partisan times, right, where things are getting worse and worse. And the use of sort of political gamesmanship or sort of controlling the system to your advantage is only making the system worse. We believe that the reason for the partisanship that we see in an increasing amount is the system itself, is the way that we run our elections. And we want to put our money where our mouth is and lead by example by creating a more open system, by dusting off the cobwebs and letting everybody get an opportunity to participate, because we feel like that is sort of the foundational premise of a democratic republic.
So how does that look? How will everybody participate?
So we're very excited to also be able to use this as sort of a test case for some of the election reform advocacy sort of hypotheses that have been floated for a while. So we're going to certainly use an alternative voting system. So it's not going to be a first past the post system, which is what we're used to, where sort of the individual who gets the most votes wins outright. We're going to be using a different alternative method. We haven't decided on which one yet, but that usually means ranked choice voting or approval voting or possibly star voting system. All three of those are quite popular in our group, and we'll be hearing from our constituents as to which one will fit the best. And we also are going to be using a online voting system where we can authenticate and authorize individuals within the district to cast their votes in a totally secure online format. We're still working out some of these details, but we'll be very, very excited to share all of this as it unfolds.
Yeah, so who do you decide who they're voting for?
That's a great question. So anybody who is a legally able, meets the legal requirements to serve for the Utah State Senate, who lives within Senate District 11, will be allowed to cast an application. And then by starting the application process, we have a website up for this called 11chooses.com, which is going to be the home not just for the applicants, but for the voters who are interested as well. That's 11chooses.com. They can start a sort of a declaration of intent or a pre-application form. And all that we need from them, well, actually everything that is listed on the website we need from them, all of it will be sort of converted into materials that the voters can then review to decide later on which of the candidates they like the best. You do have to change your party registration to the Forward Party by November 11th. But whatever your current party affiliation is does not make a difference. We welcome people from all current party affiliations to submit that application and change their affiliation.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I'm glad for the opportunity to say that we are recruiting candidates. If you feel a call to serve, particularly if you feel like sort of you've been boxed out of the two-party system that we have, that you don't have a sort of a political home with either the Democrats or the Republicans, it's time to look at the Forward Party. If you live in Senate District 11, please go to 11chooses.com and read more about the process. If you like what you see, start your application. And for those of you that live in the district who aren't maybe ready, just keep an eye on the news, and we'll have lots more to share on this as the situation unfolds.
Boileau says that in the state Senate right now, 10 out of the 29 senators were originally selected as midterm appointees, and that all 10 of those are Republican. He says Republicans can use a delegate system for replacement, and that the approach his party is taking is opening up the vote to all voters, and it will ensure more people have a say than ever before. Well, let's get some analysis on this process and what the changes mean for the makeup of the state Senate. Joining me live for that part of the conversation is Inside Sources co-host Holly Richardson. And Holly, how remarkable or special is this kind of process?
Well, it's definitely unique. So it will be the first of its kind, I think. And to your point, we're just talking about the delegate system replacing people who step down in the middle of their term. It's both Republicans and Democrats who do it that way, so it goes to the delegates. So you can have, for example, somebody who is replaced by 100 delegates. Sometimes it's even fewer than that. Maybe you only have 35 delegates in your district. And so what they're saying is we want to make this broadly available to every voter who lives in that district. That's really unique.
So what do you think it means, if anything, about how the state Senate will work together going forward?
I don't think it's going to change a lot, because when Senator Thatcher changed parties, it was at the very end of the session. He had been caucusing with the Republicans, and then there was only just a little bit of brief discussion about, well, where is he going to fit next year? I don't think that they worked that out, and I don't know if there will be a place for this new person to caucus with either the Democrats or the Republicans because they split by party. So we'll see, but that doesn't mean that this person can't come in and build coalitions and make a difference.
So what are your thoughts on this open to all approach?
I actually kind of love it. A lot of states, when they do their special elections for somebody who's had to step down, they really do call it a special election, and it goes to the general electorate, and they have an opportunity to vote rather than just doing a system where just the caucus delegates show up. So I actually think it's a really great idea. I think more voices are better, and it leads to better decisions and better decision making.
Do you see this change as opening the door for more third-party folks to make it into the legislature, though?
It's possible, but that's always a question. Can third parties make inroads? And historically, the answer has been no. But there will be at least one member of the Forward Party in the Utah legislature come January 2026.
All right. Thanks, Holly. That is Holly Richardson, the host of Inside Sources. Stay with us. We'll be back with more Midday in just 60 seconds.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm, I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Property taxes are on many Utahns' minds right now as notices go out in the mail. Yesterday, we told you about a proposal to increase those taxes in Salt Lake County. Today, we're learning that Davis County may follow a similar path, resulting in similar revenue increase. Joining me now to go more in depth on this proposal are Davis County Commission Chair Lorene Kamalu and Davis County Controller Scott Park. So tell us more about the request. I mean, how much money is the county asking for?
Yeah, thanks. I'm going to let Scott handle those numbers, and then I'll answer.
Okay.
The county's looking to get about $12.6 million more, which works out to be about $8.37 on an average household per month. Represents about a 29.97% increase in the taxes.
So, Chair, what does this mean as far as why do you need the money?
Yeah, thank you. I think the biggest reason that Davis County and other jurisdictions are having similar tax increases is because of inflation. The last tax increase that Davis County experienced, it was Truth in Taxation in 2016. So we've gone 9 years, and we've had 32% inflation during that time. So all the revenue that comes to the county to run the government operations for our residents, the purchasing power of that is down 32%.
So talk about the timing a little bit. I mean, inflation is really hitting families hard. So why now? Why take this step now?
Oh, yeah, great question. We've stretched it out as long as we could. Everyone got all this federal money that kind of created the inflation problem. And it just didn't make any sense to increase taxes as long as there was a fund balance that could handle a few deficits in the last year or two. That can no longer happen. And so there's two choices. We can either stop providing services such as criminal justice and public safety, try to cut staff. It's always been hard to add staff here in Davis County. We're very conservative. And so the choices just came to the only responsible thing to do was to bring in some more revenue to cover the existing services of Davis County.
You mentioned how long it had been for your employees to get increases. Maybe talk about the importance of retaining employees.
Oh, yeah. Well, I said that it's hard for departments to get additional staff added. We've been very careful to have hopefully just the right amount of staff. If any jurisdiction does not stay competitive in the marketplace and loses staff for attrition, it is incredibly expensive and inefficient. And so we have worked really hard to find that sweet spot as a county, have just the right amount of folks, and then staying competitive with their wages, because attrition is the least efficient, most expensive problem to possibly have.
Scott, maybe you could describe why the money is needed for criminal justice.
Yeah. Well, the county has been growing. Crime increases, usually with the size of the population, and we have to have enough prosecutors. We have to have enough legal defenders. We choose to run a pretrial program for folks who are not public safety risks and don't have to languish in jail, and then taxpayers spend even more money on those folks in the jail. So, we take public safety and criminal justice very seriously in this county. That's one of the core responsibilities of government. And Scott has even more numbers on that, but it's the largest part of the revenue needed is definitely in criminal justice and public safety. It's about 2/3, Scott, if I understand. Yeah, he's nodding his head.
Go ahead, Scott. You can add to that.
Just wanted to say, so like public safety wages cost us $7 million more this year, 2025, than it did even 5 years ago. And that's because of the wage wars and the competition to keep public safety officers. Our county attorney's office, we're spending $3 million more than we were even just 5 years ago. And that's for that same level of service. And as more and more of our competitors start paying higher wages, we have to respond or we have to cut the services.
Okay, let's talk about the process a little bit. This actually won't go into effect until next year if it's approved. Talk about the process and how the public can get involved.
Yes, thank you for that. We absolutely encourage the public participation, especially because most people really don't know what is going on when they receive a tax notice, and there's other taxing entities, and where does their property tax go, right? I did not understand that as, like back in 2014, I got an appointment to come in and ask my questions and had them answered. And so when people pay property taxes, it's divvied up. And I pay a little bit to my city, I pay a little bit to Davis County, and then the rest of it goes to other entities. And so the process and understanding the different buckets and where the money goes is really crucial. If, like we just had a comment in our commission meeting, and the person came in and he was well-intended, he just said, say no to everything. Well, guess what? When you have a position of responsibility to provide service in a city, county, state, you can't just say no to everything. There are really important ways that we manage the services on each of those levels. And so there is a process, thankfully, and it has to be public, and we have open and public meetings all year long. But usually people never engage. And so we actually do look forward to the opportunity to educate folks about the budget of Davis County.
All right. Thanks to both of you for being with me and explaining why this increase is necessary. That is Lorene Kamalu, Davis County Commission Chair, and Scott Park, Davis County Controller, joining me. After the break, we'll take a closer look at why property taxes seem to be on the rise across the state and how Utah compares to the rest of the country. But first, it's KSL Traffic. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending to an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
Valley Freeway traffic looks good. We do have that crash affecting traffic downtown at 200 East, 200 South. And then we have an accident in the Huntsville area of Weber County, westbound SR 39 at Trappers Loop Road. Westbound traffic is closed at this time. Don't miss the Rocky Mountain Gun Show, October 25th and 26th at the Legacy Events Center in Farmington. Get 500 rounds of 9mm ammo for just $85. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's that time of year. The colder temperatures have arrived, and if you have older windows or doors, you're really probably noticing that right now. And if you're starting to feel that discomfort, you owe it to yourself to check out the wonderful selection of windows and doors at Peach Windows and Doors. Besides improving the efficiency of your doors and windows, Peach will give your home that $1 million feel that it deserves. Peach is a trusted name in windows and doors for luxury homes, remodels, new home builds, and they have a wide range of high-quality products for you to choose from. Now, they specialize in custom windows that have that contemporary look with the larger glass and the slim frames, so you can bring more of that outdoor feel into your home. They also have European-style windows that tilt and turn and make them just so easy to clean, and they are so unique. They also have beautiful entry doors and patio doors, French doors, and they can add the final touch with window coverings. They have those popular motorized custom roller shades that you open and close with your phone. You can call them today for a free home visit at 801-566-1255 or go to peachwindowsanddoors.com. They have a Salt Lake showroom that you can visit. Again, that is peachwindowsanddoors.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Utah can count on.
I want more from my checking account. That's why I have Dream Rewards checking from Cyprus Credit Union. I earn points for making everyday purchases, paying my loans, even building my savings. Those points get me awesome rewards like cash back, gift cards, travel, and more. I'm making my everyday spending work for me. Learn more at cypruscu.com.
Cyprus Credit Union, your future is our future.
Insured by NCUA.
Hey guys, it's Woodrow from Mint Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with ED? Well, you are not alone, and now there's a real solution that treats the root cause, not just the symptoms. Introducing our trifecta approach, a breakthrough combination of acoustic wave therapy, hormone replacement, and cryotherapy, all designed to restore blood flow, boost performance, and rebalance your hormones. Whether it's ED or hormonal imbalance, if you're ready to reignite your love life, this treatment helps bring back your energy, your drive, and your confidence. And right now, when you call, you'll receive a free consultation, a blood flow ultrasound, and an intimacy gift. That's a $650 value, absolutely free. And here's the bonus. The next 20 callers will also receive a 5-night stay at a luxury resort in Hawaii just for taking the first step. But you must call now. With 2 convenient locations in Layton and Sandy, help is closer than you think. Call 801-804-8000 now. That's 801-804-8000. Mint Medical Clinic. We'll get you back to mint condition.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. We are streaming on the KSL News Radio app, sponsored by At Your Service Pros. Property tax rate discussions are underway with both Salt Lake County and Davis County proposing double-digit increases to keep up with inflation and meet their needs. Deseret News reporter Brigham Tomko tells inside sources on KSL that county governments are dealing with a perfect storm.
So this perfect storm has maybe 3 components. The first one I'll talk about is the increase in home value. So over the last decade, the taxable value of Utah homes has tripled, which means that even if the Utah legislature or even if your county commission or city council did nothing, the value of your home has increased so much that that will be reflected in property taxes. Now, the second thing, and this was often pointed out by county officials I spoke with in reporting, is inflation has increased the cost of managing a city or a county or just these municipal governments in terms of salaries, wages, and just construction costs and all across the board. And so these inflationary costs had made it harder to run a local government budget. And now the third thing, and I think this is an interesting thing that may have flown under the radar, but back in 2018, the Utah legislature, so this is a property tax legislation at the state level, which, isn't as common where you interact with the property tax, but they froze a kind of a minimum property tax that exists across the state to raise education funding, and they froze it as a way to increase funding because that rate typically adjusts. When inflation goes up, your property tax rate actually goes down so that it produces the same revenue level. But this freeze meant that even if inflation went up, that your property tax rate would stay the same and you'd have to pay more. And what the legislature has recognized after this audit was published is that freeze may have come at the absolute worst time for Utah ratepayers because it coincided with record inflation in the state.
Assistant Professor of Economics at the University of Tennessee, Michael Kofed, studies how states tax their residents and took a look at where Utah fits in. He says most states follow a three-legged stool model.
Income, property, and sales tax.
He says Utah does a decent job of keeping that stool in balance. He says you have to think about property taxes as a trade-off between the services you get and the price you're willing to pay for them.
Property taxes are interesting because they directly go to the services that you and I consume on a very daily basis. You can easily choose a property tax by moving into a jurisdiction that values like schools or parks. But the trade-off there is it's hard to buy a home with a high property tax, and the property tax also reduces your home value.
Kofed says other states have a different mix. For example, New York has high taxes on all three legs of the stool. California has lower property taxes, but middle-of-the-road sales taxes and a very high income tax. It's 2:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. The federal government shutdown now affecting SNAP benefits for Utah families. A massive web outage earlier this week. What can we learn from it going forward? And KSL traffic, Ricky.
Power outages affecting traffic lights downtown on 2nd East. Maria?
It's 2:30 now, KSL's top local stories. A Murray family already fighting for more time together is facing another heartbreak. Police say a drunk driver slammed into several cars near Van Winkle and 9th South, including a silver SUV carrying a father and his young son. The boy's mother, Molly Jimenez, says her husband and child escaped with minor injuries, but their SUV was totaled.
My son was on the driver's side, and luckily the first car took most of the impact, that it flipped the vehicle around 180, and then he hit two more cars before he came to a stop.
The driver was arrested for DUI and fleeing the scene. You can find a link to the family's GoFundMe at kslnewsradio.com. A state senator who left the Republican Party says he's resigning before the start of the January legislative session. Now that means the Utah Forward Party will now be in charge of finding his replacement. KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson has more.
Senator Daniel Thatcher from West Valley City has been debating bills on Utah's Capitol Hill for over 14 years. But in a Facebook post, he says to give his constituents the best outcome, it's time for him to move on. Because he's part of the Utah Forward Party, that party is in charge of finding his replacement. And they've opened it up to anyone living in District 11. People who want to run can apply starting today. The only catch, the person has to change their party affiliation to the Forward Party by November 11th. Now, all the candidates, they'll be narrowed down. Then there will be an online vote taken to pick the winner. Randall Jepson, KSL News Radio.
The CEO of Crumble is using the money he was planning to use to pay BYU's fine for storming the field to pay some student lunch debt in Utah. CEO Jason McGowan offered to pay the fine from the Big 12 Conference so fans could celebrate on the field after the Cougars beat the Utes in this weekend's rivalry game. There was no fine, so instead, McGowan gave the money to pay off school lunch debt in Provo City and Salt Lake City school districts. Taking a look at your money at this moment, it was a bad one for the Dow. The Dow was down 334 points today, about 0.75%, sitting at 46,590 at the close. S&P down by 35. The NASDAQ down by nearly a full percent, down 213 points. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape. Ricky?
We do have the crash that affected traffic lights downtown at 200 South, 200 East. That intersection essentially closed to all traffic, but traffic lights malfunctioning due to the power outage on 2nd East from 100 to 300 South. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced health care in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Slight chance of an overnight rainstorm. Today's high 63, staying in the 60s through Friday, then up to 70 for Saturday, and just a 10% chance of showers on Saturday as well. The big change coming on Sunday with a 60% chance of showers. 59 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866. 800-549-8866.
Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from 10 to 1 as the movie show stops by. Then browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes a new inventory every day. Then they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. So you're invited to visit the movie show Friday 10 to 1. And that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
If you are facing divorce, call Cordell and Cordell today.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. CordellCordell.com.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. It's day 22 of the government shutdown, and Democrats and Republicans are no closer to reaching a deal that would reopen the government. Majority of Democrats are holding steady on their position to talk about extending health care tax credits before reopening the government. But Republicans aren't making any moves either and say they won't talk until the government is reopened. More from ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang.
The Democrats, they are calling on President Trump to come to the table, but he's not willing to do so until Democrats vote to reopen the government. Well, Democrats, they are demanding an extension of those expiring Obamacare subsidies so that health care premiums don't skyrocket for millions of Americans. Now, it's not just a concern from Democrats. In fact, a group of Republicans wrote a letter to House Speaker Mike Johnson demanding that he immediately address this issue because, of course, those health care premiums impact their constituents as well, and open enrollment starts on November 1st.
The effects of the federal government shutdown now making their way to Utah families who rely on the government for food assistance. Today, the state of Utah said that due to the shutdown, payments for SNAP or food stamps will not be issued in November. Department of Workforce Services saying this morning that they don't anticipate SNAP payments will resume until the government reopens. SNAP is a 100% federally funded program that helps roughly 86,000 Utah households buy food each month. Utah Department of Workforce Services Becky Wickstrom joined Inside Sources today to talk about the impact that this will have on families in the state.
SNAP is 100% federally funded, and because of the shutdown, we've learned that there will be no SNAP payments in the month of November. Another possibility that we're learning is that if the shutdown's not resolved by November 1st, all SNAP services may be interrupted. So that means even if you have a balance on your card from a prior month, your card may not work after November 1st. We want customers to know that this is a possibility, to know what to expect so that they can make additional arrangements to help feed their family.
There are still a lot of unknowns, too. Wickstrom says that until the government does reopen, unfortunately, they won't get a lot of answers or additional information. In the meantime, she recommends that families who rely on government assistance food programs start making plans now to find sustenance once November rolls around.
I mean, we're fortunate to live in an area where there are community resources available. Customers can hopefully tap into those. You can call 211 or go to 211utah.org and find local food pantries, meal sites, and other resources. So we're hoping that by knowing this information, customers can make arrangements and, have some other resources to rely on in November.
Wickstrom says that while SNAP funding is in the air, the team at the State Department of Workforce Services is still working to make sure that as soon as funding comes back online, it can be sent out to families in need as quickly as possible. In the meantime, food banks and other organizations here in Utah are already preparing for a massive influx of people needing help. One of those is Utahns Against Hunger. Earlier on Midday, I spoke with the executive director, Gina Cornea, to find out how she thinks that this could impact Utahns who receive benefits.
Of course, we are deeply troubled by the fact that November benefits may be held up. It's about $30 million a month that's issued in Utah. So not only does that impact individual families, but it also impacts grocery stores.
Yeah, so what can these families do to prepare?
Well, I think the first thing that we want to make sure people understand is that if they have any SNAP balances remaining on their cards, that they should spend those benefits down through October 1st, because we don't know what's going to happen to that food stamp SNAP system once November 1st hits, and people with remaining balances may not be able to use them in November. So folks should prepare for that. We don't want to cause panic and cause a run on grocery stores, but if people have essentials they need going into November, they should buy them now.
Are there any other resources for these families?
There are, dozens of food pantries and food banks across the state that provide temporary assistance to folks, but they are not in any way prepared to take on a huge influx of people. Pantries have been experiencing higher demand than normal. I mean, even before since the pandemic. And, they're just like an influx of 180,000 people, there's just no way for pantries to keep up. There's no way for the Utah Food Bank to fill that gap. There's no way for churches, including the LDS Church and their incredibly generous and comprehensive welfare system, can't fill the gap. I mean, this is, I think it's going to cause a lot of panic and people are scared.
Yeah. Is there any hope that money for these benefits will come from somewhere else?
Not as far as we know. One of the things that could happen is, states could use their own funding, but there is no way, a guarantee that those benefits or that funding would be replaced or reimbursed by the federal government. And really the best thing that people can do is to call their congressional delegation and have them insist that the USDA release funds for both SNAP and for women, infants, and children, because the USDA has the authority to do that.
Gina Cornea is the executive director of Utahns Against Hunger. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Now that the dust has settled from a massive Amazon Web Services outage this week, the attention is turning to the now what part of the story. I spoke with the director for the Center for National Security Studies at Utah Valley University, Brandon Amaker, to find out what we can learn from this outage. He says the massive outage highlights concerns that have been voiced in the tech industry.
There are things which have been floated kind of in the tech and security communities for a while about how dependent we are on some of these cloud providers and how they, an outage with one of these providers can really have cascading effects which have major economic impact. I think this has kind of made the public a lot more aware of that and a lot more, cognizant of the fact that our digital infrastructure that kind of underpins our economy might be a little bit more fragile than we like to believe.
So what are some things we could do right now on a nationwide scale to make sure that a future cloud outage isn't going to hit us nearly so hard?
It's a great question. And I think a lot of it kind of comes down to different companies understanding that even if you're going with one of the industry leaders like an AWS or a Azure or a Google to host your cloud infrastructure, knowing that having redundancies built in is very, very healthy. So, for example, if you have an instance, most of your infrastructure is on AWS, it might be worthwhile to have some backups or some redundancies built into on a different cloud platform so that should AWS become unavailable, your service is not completely out of commission. So I think it is incumbent on some businesses to realize that that building in that redundancy is partially their responsibility as well. And even if it is a leading organization, don't become overconfident.
Mm-hmm. So is there anything on a personal level that individuals can do to put in place redundancies like this as well?
It's a little bit more difficult because so much of this is, dependent on the applications that we trust, right? If you are working, through a certain accounting platform or a certain, CRM system at work and that system goes offline, it's not really up to you where they host their data. But I mean, in terms of kind of putting upward pressure on these companies to build in that redundancy, perhaps that could help. And I mean, if you are, relying very heavily on something for your own personal cloud storage, then sure. But that's kind of the problem is that on an individual level, we're really relying on these applications which are core to our business and our work functionality, and we don't really have a say as to where or how they host their data.
Right. And I mean, it really comes to light for students, when professors could not get onto their Canvas accounts and do any work.
Oh, yeah, trust me. We all felt the effects of that one. So I'm sure the students weren't necessarily heartbroken about a day without Canvas, though.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Yeah, but I also think that, so many people work from home, maybe are self-employed, that this, there are some things they need to be thinking about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in terms of just loss of functionality, there is massive implications of this, which are really hard to measure. Some people say that for large organizations, hourly losses when one of these major cloud providers goes down is, millions, if not, billions of dollars per hour. So, and that is not even talking about these small businesses, right? That it's very, very difficult to measure what the actual economic impact is of an outage like this.
Right. So is this just the cost of relying on the cloud so much?
Partially, yeah. Partially. I mean, if you think about it, these services are expected to be fully functional 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. there's going to be some problems. These companies, like AWS, Google, Microsoft, they try to build redundancies into it, but you're never going to get anything 100% right. So I think, the cloud is often viewed as a more secure solution, because, hey, if I have something saved on a computer at work, that computer could be destroyed. But I think understanding that having redundancies for both, that having something on premise on your, saved on your computer also has its advantages in certain situations as well, is a healthy thing to understand. That the cloud is not infallible, right? It's not ever present, and it's not something that, is guaranteed to be available.
Brandon Amaker is the director of the Center for National Security Studies at Utah Valley University. The name Utah will soon be on the international waters once again. More on the new USS Utah coming up next. But first, it's KSL Traffic. It's brought to you by Mountain America. Turn everyday spending into an extraordinary escape, Ricky.
We do have delays in the Huntsville area of Weber County. It's due to a crash westbound SR 39 near Trappers Loop Road. At one point, westbound was completely closed. It looks like they may be alternating traffic, but if you're headed near between, I'm going to say, Wildwood and Pineview, just be prepared for possible delays. The Good Feet store is supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Many people worry they're not making the right investment choices inside their 401ks. Did you know that you might have a little-known opportunity to add some additional investment choices to your 401k and get the help and recommendations you've been looking for? This exciting feature is called a self-directed brokerage window. And the best part? The money still stays within your 401k. Learn how the trusted advisors at Capital Wealth may be able to expand your investment portfolio. To learn more, call or text the word VISIT to 801-877-9800 or go to CapitalWealth401k.com. Improving your 401k might mean the difference of retiring a few years earlier. Let's find out. Schedule your no-cost 15-minute consultation with the Capital Wealth team today. Call or text the word VISIT to 801-877-9800 or go to CapitalWealth401k.com. Advisory services offered through Capital Wealth Advisors, LLC, a state of Utah registered investment advisor.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word NEWS to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text CONTEST to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word JAZZ for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
Jim Weber is here from Foothill Oriental Rugs. And Jim, it's always exciting to have you here because then we know it's the semi-annual sale. First of all, you are one of the very few direct importers.
You hear that old cliche, we cut out the middleman, and what it enables me to do is I get better merchandise, more unique merchandise, even have a lot of things specifically made for me, and I can offer them at prices 25% below the industry average. So it's a win-win for me, and it's a win-win for my customers.
What have you got on sale for us?
A 9x12 Tibetan contemporary rug, retail price $95.04, on sale for $28.51. A 5x7 Pakistani silk rug, retail price $24.79, on sale for $9.85. If you've ever needed a rug, this is a great time to come in and look at rugs because our retail prices are better than the industry and average, and right now they're marked down up to 70% off.
Don't miss out. The semi-annual sale is underway now at Foothill Oriental Rugs, 1460 South Foothill Drive, just south of Foothill Village.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, October 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hey, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops. Myth. You might have heard that you need to spend a fortune these days to get a powerful computer. Correction. At PC Laptops, we wanted to prove that wrong. So here's the most amazing deal that we've ever done at PC Laptops for you in over 30 years. The new 2025 S1 desktop or SM3 laptop for only $999. You heard that right, $999. You get a blazing fast processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing storage for $999. What else do you get? Lifetime service warranty, and we have 12 months special financing on approved credit. Take one home today. Hurry in right now because supplies are limited, because at PC Laptops, we love you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. $999, PCLaptops.com.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The name Utah will soon be back on the water after more than 80 years. Saturday morning, the United States Navy will commission a new Virginia-class submarine called the USS Utah. Chairman of the USS Utah Commissioning Committee, Mike Lamoureux, says he's not sure about the timing, but it is the first time in more than 100 years a naval vessel is being named Utah. The last Navy ship named Utah sank in Pearl Harbor in 1941.
We're number 27 of 40 planned Virginia-class nuclear submarines. As they're naming each one of those vessels, they're looking at the vessel, they're looking at, various other states that have had maybe vessels in the past, but no longer. And it was just our turn. They knew that we hadn't had a vessel. I mean, even at Pearl Harbor, the vessel was basically a naval training vessel at that point, but it was manned. I'm sure you know the story. 58 sailors went down aboard her when she was attacked. She was the first vessel attacked, and the first one sunk, I think, at Pearl Harbor. So I think it's been a long time. The original USS Utah was commissioned, I believe it was in 1911. That's been over 100 years. So we were due.
Lamoureux says the vessel being named after Utah now is a remarkable submarine.
The Virginia-class boat, and they call submarines boats, the Navy does, but the Virginia-class was, I think, brought on board to start replacing those that are being decommissioned, the Los Angeles-class submarines. But what the Navy wanted in this particular submarine, they wanted a submarine that was really, they call it a fast attack. It's smaller than some of the past submarines, and it's very fast, very maneuverable. It has all of the most highly technical specifications for all of their hardware and computer systems and so on. I mean, it's like walking into a spaceship when you go in the command center. You've probably seen movies of submarines, with the down periscope and up periscope. They don't have any such things. It's just large monitors all around the room, and they control their digital. It's now a digital array of technology. It's not a periscope, so they have infrared and all kinds of tools that they can use to essentially monitor the activities of wherever it is they've been sent to either watch an enemy or track their submarines. They do a lot of that tracking of other submarines from other countries with this Virginia-class submarine just because of its stealthy technical equipment. The other thing, too, is they're designed to insert SEAL teams, close water incursions in enemy waters if need be. So they have some pretty remarkable technology that they're able to use that make them especially fearsome in terms of that part of the Navy fleet.
The christening ceremony for the USS Utah SSN 801 is scheduled for 8 o'clock Saturday morning Utah time. Now, the ceremony will be live streamed if you want to watch it. The Utah Jazz hit the home court tonight in their first home game against Los Angeles Clippers. Ahead of the game, longtime Utah Jazz fans have a unique opportunity to upgrade some of their merch. The first 500 people into the Delta Center this afternoon can swap out their old Jazz jerseys for a new one that the team will wear this season.
4:30 today, opening day on the plaza. you can come and exchange any official Jazz jersey. It can be any jersey. So if it's a 90s official Jazz jersey, 2000s, as long as it's a Jazz jersey, it'll be the first 500 guests who come will get an opportunity to exchange their jersey for one of the 3 mountain basketball themed jerseys that the team will wear this season.
Cassie Batnich is the Vice President of Public Relations for the Utah Jazz. She tells KSL News Radio's Adam Small that the whole thing is pretty open. There aren't a whole lot of stipulations. If you're not sure if you want to give up an old-time favorite for something new, you might want to take a look at some of the newer designs. Batnich says the jerseys this season pay homage to some of the all-time favorites.
We released the Statement Edition, which is the primarily black jersey in the 24-25 season. So that's been available since January of this year. And then our new for this season that just came out were the Association and the Icon. So that's the white with the gradient mountain step and the purple with the gradient mountain step. All 3 of those jerseys will be worn by the Jazz this season. So it's, wearing what the Jazz are wearing this year, celebrating the mountain basketball theme, and just the pride in Utah basketball.
But don't worry, she says the purple colors are still in full swing with the Jazz.
It was very clear that purple was has and always will be a fan favorite, and that you'll see that very much in the mountain basketball themed jerseys. Purple is back, and the mountains are very much back in the design and the elements of these new jerseys.
Remember, the deal only applies to official Jazz jerseys and is only open for the first 500 people to attend tonight's game. And already there is quite a crowd forming. One texter last hour estimated about 200 people are already there. Our producer just looked outside and he says the group has definitely gotten bigger. Again, the doors open at 4:30. And Jeff Kaplan is with me, and you are going to be outside.
Yeah,
for the
I have
Jazz
my
game.
Utah gear, but it's just a T-shirt that's kind of aged out. Remember the sunset with the Southern Utah rainbow colors? I loved that, but it's completely gone.
It's completely gone. Where's your cool jacket that you usually wear?
Oh, I have it right here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's like
go.
15 sizes too big. It's like a tent.
That's what happens when you lose weight.
Yeah.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News is next. Have a great afternoon.
It's kind of nice.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News